Early. I'm up early. I'm up early. So I'm doing this stream for fun. Been in here in my kitchen. Me and my husband, we had quite a day yesterday. Uh, let me see. I gotta find that lighter. Damn it. Let me go find that lighter. We had quite a day yesterday. So we went out and so we had a date yesterday. We went to farmers market. I guess the Fulton County Georgia State Farmers Market. It wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. Um, I thought it was going to be like a huge farmers market that went on and on and on. They had one section available for the public. Those two sections actually, and those two sections were like, yeah, like a typical farmers market, crates and barrels and barrels of food. Nothing exotic or special. It seemed to be mostly Latinos, so it's like a fresh market. And so we went to that. That was our date. We decided to have a date yesterday. So we've been planning it. So I wanted to go there and see that. And so we did. And then I wanted to explore Morrow, Jonesboro, and then some other place. They're all there together, these small cities. Oh, Forest Park. Because when we deliver and stuff like that, and I'm always like driving to do something to an event center, and I'm seeing all this stuff in these stores, and I'm like, man, I never get a chance to stop and see anything. So we went through those three cities after we left the farmers market, and so that was pretty cool. So we just kind of was just driving around talking, looking at the different stores, and we stopped in a couple of thrift stores and different little spots just to kind of explore the area. Atlanta's so big, you do have to take time to explore. So anyway, that was yesterday, and then so in the evening, my husband has this thing. One of his favorite things is these wedges from they're like potato wedges from Publix. And these potato wedges from Publix are expensive as fuck. That shit more expensive than chicken. It's crazy. You get like three potato wedges, it's like six fucking dollars. And I'm like, man, come on. So I told him, I said, well, let's do this. Let's look up. He likes the French fries or Ryder, but he really likes the wedges. I said, let's look up how to make these potatoes. We've been working on this for 2 weeks. And then I will make you potatoes just like, you have from Publix, but we'll make them homemade. But we're going to make it exactly like that so you don't miss a beat. You don't feel like, not the bootleg version. So that's what we did. We sat and we cut these goddamn potatoes. We cut a whole bag. Oh, and we bought some stuff from the farmer's market too. So that's what we did last night. And so what happened is by the time I got done making the batter, then you got to freeze them after you boil them, after you soak them. And then we're going to deep fry today. So I'm getting the kitchen ready for the deep frying. So we're going to see. We're going to do two experiments. We're going to try the deep fryer, and then we're going to try to what you call it? We have a deep fryer, and then we also have an air fryer. So we're going to do an experiment and see how it turns out. But we were dipping them in the batter all night, cutting and chopping. That's what we were doing yesterday. So yeah. So that's what I did yesterday. And let me see what else. Oh, I wanted to show this. I have got 20 of these. Now I have the ADHD, and so one of the problems I have is remembering to do and organize and get stuff done. So I ended up going, I'm a penny shopper, bargain shopper. So I ended up going to Dollar General and getting like 20 of these, 1 penny a piece. I got 20 of them. And so it's got a list and then it helps you keep organized for the week. Isn't that cool? Isn't that fucking cool? So I am straight. As long as I got a list, I am functional. I write a list every fucking day. So I'm working from my list now. This is my list. So I stay on list. That way I can stay focused. Because if I'm not focused, my whole day will be gone and then I will be fucked up. I'll be whole fucking mad. Anyway, let me get to the point. Let me tell y'all something. I'm an alchemist. And I don't talk about the details of it much. I really don't. I got to get me some chai. Should I do green tea or chai? That's my Hello Kitty snuggler. I don't know what you call it, but I'm going to talk about feminism today. That's what I want to talk about. I'm a fake feminist, y'all. Let me say this as an alchemist. First and foremost, I don't come on the internet looking for approval or people to love me or care about me or be my friend. I don't. I know there are people who do, but I don't. I think it's funny that people take social. I was just talking to my husband, but we had a conversation yesterday, and we were talking about how far we've come. And we should have like, whiplash as a Generation X because we literally saw the rotary phone to the mounted phone, wall mounted phone. We saw the cordless phone. Then we saw the birth of pagers, the birth of cell phones. Oh, I forgot car phones. And then now we have this whole, ooh, that's strong. That's a strong instant. Ooh, that's a strong. I don't know if I should have played that one. Ooh, that's strong. My nose wasn't ready. I'm about to get to the feminism in a second. Because they put me on trial, y'all. They put me on trial. They tried to put me on trial. They tried to put me on trial. They tried to put me on trial, y'all. I think it was a I think it was a 10-hour trial. I think so. I'm not sure. It's a long trial. But somebody else ended up on trial too, so because you can't say certain stuff. You got to go on trial because the gynocracy will make sure that you bend the knee. The gynocracy will make sure that you bend the knee. Apparently, I'm not a member. I've been kicked out of the sisterhood, y'all. Apparently, I'm a mammy. So you don't know you're a mammy until you get around women who are much more extreme than you are. You try to be balanced and shit, boy, you fucking up. Don't try to be balanced now. You got to be extreme. Men are evil. Men suck. I hate men. They're always dangerous. You got to say that type of shit. Now, some of the women don't believe that, but when you're around other women, you better fucking say it. Otherwise, there's a price to pay. They gonna hang your ass. If you don't say that men are evil, or if you have a good word for any man, boy, they gonna hang your ass. You gonna hang, girl. So I guess I lost my sisterhood card, y'all. I guess I'm a certified mammy. I've been heard this before, y'all know this is nothing new. I'm a certified May is a certified mammy, y'all. Cause I can't completely commit to the hatred of men. I just can't completely commit. I can't commit at all. And I ain't looking for no brownie points. I ain't here trying to impress nobody, you understand? I ain't trying to belong to nothing. I'm just me. I'm just me. And what I've learned as an alchemist is you gotta look at intentions, and you don't have to take people that serious. It's not. First and foremost, this is entertainment. I think everything is purely entertainment. People are content creators. That means they need something to rant and rage about, to have something to talk about. Ain't nothing wrong with that. People need something to talk about. That's the whole point. Many gather around because they want to engage in what? Negativity, controversy. That's what attracts people. It ain't the I love you, you love me. That's not what people listen to for hours. People listen to the drama, the funny shit, the crazy shit. That's what people sign up for. So I'm not offended to become content, to go on trial. I'm not. It's content, baby. Baby, it's content. It ain't nothing. And that's the thing. I think people really, really have to be careful because if you tie your self esteem or your value or your truth or whoever you are to the opinion of strangers, baby, you've lost. You've lost the game. You better come to the internet knowing who you are. You better come to the internet knowing who you are. If you present yourself as a persona, you better know who the fuck you are. Because I promise you, there are thousands of people who will tell you their perspective on who they believe you are. And let that not change who you are. Do not shape yourself for the crowd. So as an alchemist, I have to say this. I look at energy, intention. I look at a lot of stuff. And I have to tell you, one of the things that I have found is the most powerful thing you can do is what you call lean into it. Lean into it. Be not bothered, baby. Lean into it. Lean into it. So the sisterhood said I was a mammy. They said I was a fake feminist. I embrace it, baby. I embrace it, baby. I embrace it. I'm going to lean into it. And like a here go. See, when you know who you are, you don't need the judgments of others or even their attention. You know what I'm saying? You don't need it. You got you. You know who you are. So I just want to talk about my journey into fake feminism. I want to discuss it a little bit. And I want to explain to y'all why I am an absolute fake feminist. I want to tell you. Uh-oh, I got people. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm going to have to turn this off for a second so I can read it. Let me turn it off so I can read it. How do I do it? Oh, shit. Okay, now I can read it because the background is black. All right. Oh, Rudem. Hey. Hey, Rudem. I ain't seen you in forever. I was wondering about you. He said the hatred for FBA is real in these streets. BA separating Black Americans separating has been the best thing to happen. Yes, yes, good point. Good morning, Mahogany. What's up, V Dub? I ain't seen you around either, V Dub. Maybe I hadn't been on the internet enough. Rudem, what you been up to? You finally got into Korean kimchi. You posted cucumber kimchi. Yes, honey. I am exploring the Korean food. Yes, I am. Okay, let me put it back on. This is my home hearth altar. And you said you're working on 2 videos, but you will be back. Okay, okay, working on 2 videos. Yeah, I saw you started Mahogany on Glorilla. I don't know about these newer people. But it looks like somebody's sister betrayed them or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, anyhow, I was actually listening to a stream. Damn, this incense is strong. About O'Shea Du Jackson and his journey into medicine. I found that was on Soul Provider's channel. And I thought that was very interesting. But anyway, my fake feminism, y'all, let me tell you. My fake feminism. So I was on this particular channel, and I was having a back and forth with Big J to some extent. And I'm not mad with Big J. I don't dislike Big J. I really am. I'm calling out the fact that I had to leave the channel because he got somebody over there that's just rude as hell, and it's just that simple. And I don't want to be around rude people. It's not that deep. Y'all know what I'm saying? Everybody got their standards. Some people don't have no standards. They just tolerate, put up with everything. But some people have standards, you know. And so I have standards of behavior I'm not willing to tolerate. And so that's why I had to leave his channel. So I was over on another channel discussing it, and I was I was actually in the moment giving my testimony about how biased Big J is about certain things. I'm not gonna get into that topic because I think I already covered it. If anybody's interested, that was the last stream I did. But that's the way I would sum it up. I would just simply say that. Oh, I got my chai. Let me get my chai. This is green tea, actually. Let me get that. Let me get it. But but anyway, what I will say is it's just simply a bias. People can be biased about all kinds of things, right? Pick your poison. But I don't like the bias. I don't think it. I don't think it's nice, and I don't think it's fair, and that type of shit. And I don't. I just don't like rude motherfuckers. And so that's it. It's just as simple as that. I don't like rude motherfuckers, and I don't like the bias. So I left his channel. As far as being oh, I put a lot of that was expensive, May. I just dumped a whole chunk of matcha on accident. That was an expensive chunk right there. Matcha's not cheap. That was a big one. Well, we're gonna use it. It's in there now. Matcha is very expensive. This blue, I mean, this green powder. Let me get to the facts. So in the conversation, it evolved, and I got a chance to talk to Brownsville. I had never talked to Brownsville before. My only experiences with Brownsville were interactions, and I usually didn't listen long. When I used to go to the, you know how when the channel is new and hot, you just kind of go in and listen, and you either decide that that's for you or it's not. Well, what's his name's channel? Um, the morning show, the Wild Wake Up morning show, Sharon. I realized early on that shit was not for me because I do not have a dedication, a dependency on discussing relationships. Like, when you are mature and you didn't actually lived a little bit and you're settled in life and you're, married or in a long-term relationship, you just don't have a need to gender war. You just don't. I mean, unless it's monetary, unless you're just making money and getting attention off of it. But you don't have an innate desire to be like, yeah, I'm angry about men. I want to talk about men, or I want to talk about women. I hate women. There's no desire. If you have a decent relationship with the opposite sex and you are, for the most part, happy, you don't really have a real desire to sign up for daily toxic conversations about how fucked up the opposite sex is. You just don't have it. And I ain't got it, y'all. I ain't got it. I ain't mad. I ain't mad. And people will get mad with you for not being mad, y'all. People will get mad with you for not being fucking mad. Do you hear me? So that's why I'm a fake feminist, because I'm not mad. Y'all hear me? I'm not mad. I got to be angry. I got to have a vendetta against men. I can't have a structural understanding, a logical conclusion, right? A methodical, purposeful plan of action as a woman. I can't have that. I got to talk shit about men and I got to be mad while I'm doing it. This is the main reason why I am a fake feminist. I'm not mad. Look, I'll be there. This is good. I'm gonna heat it up a little bit more. I'm trying to clear my throat. I just woke up. Sorry, y'all. First thing I do is get to the kitchen. I gotta clean these goddamn dishes before they get out of control. Okay. Candy Cane. Hey, what's up? Who else? Mahogany. She's on video. Okay. You said you would teach. Yes, honey, Mahogany. Teach me some editing, baby. Teach me some editing. And who is that? I can't see. Oh, that's Mahogany. Okay. Good morning, Candy Cane. Okay. Good morning, Candy Cane. Candy Cane, I want to also, I shared your video. I want to also compliment you on, you have I don't know what's the word, you have a presence about yourself as a channel holder, moderator. The way that I don't know, I like it. I just like it. It's like I almost feel like you have like a journalistic, I don't know, like 60 minutes type of vibe. You know what I mean? Like you take a serious tone. It's a compliment. That's what I'm saying. It's a compliment. I think that's cool. I like it. I take like when as soon as I come into your space, it's like there's a standard and a tone that's set. And I kind of know what I'm walking into. Like I'm gonna learn something. So I thought that was cool. I saw a lot of y'all's video last night. Um, and I'm still trying to finish it. I would probably be watching it right now, was it not for me trying to strain. But I want to come clean, y'all. As an alchemist, I know you got to lean into it. So I'm here to tell y'all I am a fake feminist. I am absolutely a fake feminist because I'm not mad. I'm not hunting man. I'm not accusing man. I'm not talking about how evil and nasty they are. I don't want I don't want the overturn of patriarchy today. I'm a fake feminist. I'm dangerous. God damn it. I'm dangerous for all womankind. I want y'all to know that. And unfortunately, I'm not dangerous to men. Lean into it. Lean into it. Lean into it. Make it fun and fluid. Lean into it. Well, no, let me tell y'all my feminist journey. I have to say this. I am a what you call a humanist feminist, okay? I'm a humanist feminist. So a lot of people might say that's fake. They probably would, you know? Let me give you guys an idea of what radical feminists are. I have went to school. See, if there's anybody who can actually judge what a fucking feminist is, it's me. If somebody could, right? I'm a lifelong Girl Scout because my parents believe that women they need to be exposed to leadership and experiences so that they can lead and organize. Yeah, definitely. You like interviews? Yeah. Okay. I was just looking at the comments, but so I could say this. I started when I was about what 7, 8, um, in a Girl Scout troop. So we're talking about feminism. What is feminism? Feminism is a focus on women's empowerment as it relates to being equally treated in the world. And later on, I developed. I had to look at all the spectrums of feminism. Like, well, whoa, right? There's lots of types of feminism, and the whole world, honestly, is very ignorant. There's waves of feminism and all that stuff, and people throw these words around. Most people are very ignorant. It's okay. It's not a big deal. But feminism has a long history. And a lot of people, they like to use the word. They like to pretend because I'm a woman, I am an expert. I automatically know everything about feminism because I'm a female and I'm mad. I'm angry, right? I got vendettas. That makes me a feminist. I am an authority because I say so. I get it. But I have actually been through the school of feminism from a very, very young age. And feminism is not a bad word, not at all. Feminism is about the empowerment of women. And if you compare, right, into some of these countries, the types of what they call patriarchy, which is male rule, complete, total, absolute male rule, where women really can't have access in society to voting, to driving, certain careers, working outside of the home. They don't get to choose who they marry, right? They can't own property. The type of work they want to do or work at all is not an option, no birth control. I mean, hey, this right here, you can call it patriarchy if you want to. But in reality, this country, America, the Western world, is extremely woman friendly. Okay. A lot of times in some countries, women can't even join in politics. They can't do leadership. They're not allowed to lead shit. You understand? So when we contrast and compare globally what women in the Western world are able to do, we have a very feminist society, a feminist friendly society. That's if you actually know what feminism is, you recognize that. So the women who are screaming, oh, it's a patriarchy, down with the patriarchy, all this victimhood, they're kind of making up shit. They're kind of making up shit. Okay, we don't have any national rules that say women cannot run, a company. We don't have any national laws that say women can't drive. We don't have any. You can't come into this career. You can't go to this school. You can't get past the sixth grade. We don't actually have any of that. We don't have forced marriages and all kind of shit. We don't fucking have it. So all the ones, who are screaming, "Oh, the patriarchy, the patriarchy," you haven't seen enough of the world. That's what I can tell you. You haven't seen enough of the world. Okay, I have felt patriarchy as a global traveler. I have felt it strongly, and it ain't nothing nice. This ain't patriarchy, baby. This ain't. They call it that, but this ain't. That ain't what this is. This is a very female-friendly world we live in. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm saying compared to the rest of the world. But how far does your idealism go? You know what I'm saying? How far does your idealism go? And I'm be honest with y'all. I went to. Let me start with my journey. Started as a Girl Scout, 7 years old. And I was a leader among girls. We learned how to sell stuff, how to do stuff, how to be adventurous, how to hike, how to fight animals. I became what do you call it, a snake handler as a result of my experiences with reptiles, a certified snake handler. I took on, excuse me with all this sniffling and shit, y'all. I just woke up. And then it's doing what it do in the winter, okay? Sorry. But I embodied female leadership and women centered things from the age of 7 all the way until, let me see, I stopped being a Girl Scout probably around 16. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, so until the age of 16, that's what I can honestly say. I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to lean into it. All right, let me see what V Dub said. Greek and professional female friends. I've been sitting on cold weather. Sucks. Yeah, cold weather do suck. It sucks. Anyway, so that's why I began my journey as a Girl Scout. So this idea that women are empowered by other women and women can cooperate with other women and women can lead other women, women are worth leadership. Even just the idea of selling Girl Scout cookies, that alone, you're teaching confidence to women. You're teaching independence to women. These are not just throwaway things. These are very valuable goals. They become part of who you are, okay? From a young age. That's important to help girls develop confidence at a young age. To say my voice matters, the work I do matters. This is feminism. If you don't understand that, you can go to Juliet Gordon Lowe's, Girl Scout of America webpage, and you can read about it, okay? Because it's important for us to know where the roots of things come from. Juliet Gordon Lowe set a tone in a strange time, okay, where women's empowerment was not fucking normal. And she created a massive movement. I would say that is very feminist, okay? So I grew up that way, 7 years old to 16 years old. I was embracing women's empowerment, women's leadership, women cooperating as a collective to accomplish things with goals. And we took ourselves fucking serious, right? So when people talk to me and they start saying, oh, some number feminists, I would ask them, my first thing would be, at what age did you begin leading as a girl? Hmm? We'll talk about feminism. At what age did you show leadership skills? Because see, just being a female does not give you the right to call yourself a feminist. What do you have to show for it? Being angry is not enough. Talking shit to men is not enough. That's not even it. You missed the point. But that's what, especially a lot of these BWE and black women and sisterhood, a lot of them really believe that feminism means that you are required to be angry with men. Feminism actually has nothing to do with men. And somebody would call me dangerous for saying so. That's dangerous, y'all. I'm going to get women killed. That's dangerous. For you to say that feminism is not about men is dangerous. Do you hear me? Dangerous. Spell it out. Dangerous. That shit's dangerous. You have to blame men. You have to say they're evil. You have to say they're fucked up by nature. You have to do that to be a feminist. See, that's fake feminist. That's fake feminism. Feminism is about focusing on women centered experiences in life. That's what it's about. That's what it's really about. Female, a woman, an individual, her experiences. Notice I said her. She's a one, a person. She's not all. Women's empowerment, that means internally. That woman wants to do what she needs to do in life to be empowered. And see, this is the trick to feminism. Every woman's empowerment is different. See, people want to ignore that. They want to act like we all think alike and we all one class. No, 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 you missed the point, baby. Because, see, I can be a feminist and be married, right? But there are women out here who are angry with men that will say, you can't be a feminist. You're a fake feminist if you're married because we hate men, right? Absolutely. There are feminists that will argue that. You are a fake feminist if you don't hate men, and you are definitely a fake feminist if you go into the institution of marriage because guess what? Marriage is just slavery. The patriarchy has created marriage as an institution to enslave females. You are definitely not a feminist. You married. You see, we take away women's choices when we start putting them in boxes. See, that's the point of feminism, to get free. Be who you're supposed to be. They've missed it. They don't understand it. They have put everybody in the box. You got to be a lesbian if you're going to be a feminist. That's why feminism is such a complex thing. You actually have to study it, which I have done. And I will go there in a moment. You have to study feminism and understand there are many, many thoughts. And there are women who will tell other women, see, there's extremes here. You got extremes in feminism. Some of the extremes, I'll give them to you, are separatist feminists. Y'all understand? These are some aggressive bitches. I went to school with them. Let me say this if you don't already know, that I went to a feminist women's college. Now, how many women who claim to be a feminist actually went to a institution of all female, only female learning? How many? But they claim they feminists now. They the real feminists. They the real feminists. They ain't studied no feminism. They haven't gotten a degree in a place that was female centered. But they'll tell you they the real feminists, right? They ain't spent a day studying feminism. Let me say this. I graduated from Agnes Scott College, here in Decatur. They call it the big pussy. That's what it is. Everything in that school is a whole different paradigm because it is female centered. The way we approach everything, the way we live, the way we walk, the way we talk, everything, the way we party, celebrate, the topics, the entertainment, it's all female centered. So for the years that I was in that school, a student of feminism, I went and got a whole degree with everything being a feminist spin, a feminist understanding. I took it was required. You have to take women's studies classes. I took a series of women's studies classes every fucking semester. You're not graduating there if you don't understand feminism and all the stuff. If you haven't read Our Bodies, Ourselves, and all the other stuff, Sister Outsider by Audre Lorde, if you haven't read Bell Hooks, oh, I have read all the feminist information. I have been through the canon. So I find it funny. Yes, y'all, I am a fake feminist. I am. I done read all them books. Angela Davis, she's a feminist, yes. hmm If you haven't critiqued capitalism with a feminist spin, right? If you haven't had a chance to take and study Marxism, understanding how feminism intersects with Marxism, right? I could get real academic with this shit, but I'm a fake feminist, right? I went to a whole feminist institution and I sat with all types of feminists. My teachers were feminists, men and women, right? But I'm a fake feminist. I'm leaning into it. I'm a fake feminist, y'all. My whole academic foundation was built on feminism and women's studies college classes. I had to actually do experiments in feminism. Yes, I did. I had to study all the different important people, women's suffrage movement. I had to study that in detail, academically. But I'm a fake feminist, no doubt. I'm a fake feminist, right? Politics, global international politics, feminism, over historical time and space. I had to study that academically, write papers on that, research that. I'm a fake feminist, though. I know all the waves. I know about the prohibition movement and the women's suffrage movement, right? And how black women in the 60s and the 70s started to come into womanism and all of this different thing. Black women, I mean, there's so many levels of this. Black women, the womanist programs, right? And I learned about how black women in the black church were the backbone but could not be the leadership. They played supportive roles. I learned about all that, the Black Panthers and the women there and the sexual exploitation. Oh, I learned it all. I have a whole gamut of knowledge when it comes to feminism, research and all. But y'all, I'm gonna promise you, I'm a fake feminist. I'm just talking out the side of my neck. I don't know nothing. I can go upstairs and go through my library of all the books with the highlighting and all of that that I have read, which is the foundation of feminist thought. I can do that. I can tell you what the chapters are about, what this discussed. Some of these articles people have never even read. A Room of One's Own. Oh my God, so good. The Yellow Wallpaper. There's so much, even in literature, feminist, all over the place. I took classes in Black feminism and American feminism, international. I've taken so many things. Feminist spin on politics, right? Birth control. But baby, I promise you I'm a fake feminist. I'm fake as fuck. And I'm dangerous. Don't forget that part. I'm dangerous as hell because I don't hate men. I'm dangerous. Don't forget it. Let me read these comments. Let me turn this off so I can read the comments because I can't read it with the black background. Let me see. It's about some therapy. What's this? I don't understand the women who get mad at other women who don't hate men as a whole. Right. Yeah, yeah. That's the issue. You're dangerous though. You that's dangerous. I truly try to understand from other points of view. I don't believe in validating people's lived experiences. The disconnect comes from me when you turn your hatred of men towards women. Yeah, but It's very complicated. It's very, very complicated. They think that a lot of, when I say they, I'm just talking about in general, a lot of women who call themselves embracing feminism, it's not actually feminism they're after. They're trying to find a vehicle to express their angst of things that they've been through. It don't take for anybody, man or woman, to have but one traumatic relationship, a breakup, a divorce. Somebody could even just be physically attacked or something by a stranger. And then from that point on, where they want to paint, they have to have a place, unfortunately, to place their anger and their issues. And unfortunately, a lot of angry women think feminism is the place to run. That's unfortunate, very unfortunate. Feminism is not a vehicle for your male hate. I'm so sorry. It's not for anybody. Um, Absolutely, it's sad because a lot of people don't understand that you can be a pick me for your own gender, the competitive nature and aspects to it. Yeah, well, I don't know. See, pick me for your own gender. Pick me for your own gender. Pick me. That's interesting. I have to think about that. Let me think about that. Pick me for your own gender. Interesting. And see, even that kind of stuff, calling people a pick me, you know, um, like I think I'll take the mammy like that's a joke, I'll take the mammy thing. Oh, you're a mammy. Oh, all right, cool, sure. If that makes you, feel justified, okay. But the pick me, I think that's a funny term. Yeah, pick me is a very loaded because to me, pick me means that you want a result. At least I think so. That you want a result of somebody picking you, and just having an opinion doesn't mean that you want to be picked. Picked by who? So pick me is a kind of complicated thing. You got to say who that person wants to be picked by. You know what I mean? Who's going to pick them, and what they get once they get picked, what role are they going to play? That's a little bit more complicated. Pick me. Now I could say some of the women that are on, some of these reality TV shows, and they're like, doing all kind of strange things to get the attention of men, like competing and stuff, like pop the balloon. I would say most of the women that go and pop the balloon are pick me. Because I'll be damned if I'm like a slave on the auction. You see, that's more feminism. I would decline to become an object, right? To be tossed away or embraced depending on your present feeling and agenda. I, as a feminist, would not participate. You're gonna objectify me? No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm a bit more than that, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Feminist thought is more about a paradigm of seeing yourself as personhood. And I, as a student of feminism, a person who graduated from a feminist college, how many women can say they went to a feminist college, right? Do you have to go to a feminist college to be a feminist? Or does that make you a fake one or a real one? It's funny when people try to like put you in boxes. So if I could do that. I could be walking around. Well, did you go to a feminist college? Well, you're a fake feminist. I mean, we could do that all day to each other, just judging each other. You're fake and I'm real, right? But I'm gonna go down some of the ideas, right? I'm gonna go through a couple ideas. I had to sit in classes and tolerate y'all because we had battling among us feminists. We were young women and we were shaping our ideas, and I would see these extremes, and there's extremes in everything, right? I would see these extremes in the class, all women, mostly female professors, and we are given information. We're watching films, right? We're doing lectures. We're taking lectures, not doing lectures. We're taking in lectures. We're reading important foundational feminist texts. We're doing all of that. And then it's time for discussion. Most of this was academic discussion, making connections, looking at intersections of race and class and gender. That's what we do in women's studies. We look at whole people. And that's the part I think true feminists get. True feminists, they get the idea that you are an individual woman. And I desire for you what I desire for myself. And that is for your individual mind, expression, and personal agenda to be your personal liberation. Y'all hear that? I wish I could say it again because I can't remember what I just said, the way I said it. But it's about the feminine energy being liberated as she sees fit, not society pushing down on her. So if I want to be a feminist, and I am a feminist, and I believe in my female power, Nobody, not any other women, get to determine what my personal female power attitude or impressions are. They don't get to decide. Because feminism says it's about the personal empowerment of each woman. That's my understanding. Because we are not a collective class of all. We found that out. Black feminists have a different agenda than white feminists. The rainbow feminists have a different agenda than the trans feminists, right? We are not all one. That's part of feminism. Understanding we are not all the fucking same. There is no one size fits all woman. We have what you call intersection. I'm teaching now. There's intersectionality. I bring my race, my class, my ethnicity, my nationality. I bring my ability or inability, also known, right, as handicaps, right? I bring all of that. I had a chick in my class and she said, I have everything in society that you can imagine as an oppressed class. I said, what? And she wasn't lying. I'll never forget the lady when we talked about intersectionality. Now imagine this. She is a woman. She is black. She is poor. She was an orphan. She was blind because she was a what? Albino. So she had disability. I said, God damn. Talk about oppression all in one fucking place. God damn. I'll never forget it. She had the palest skin and the brightest yellow hair I ever seen. I'll never forget her. And she was the embodiment of intersectionality. She said it. Nobody pointed it out. She said it. You know, that's a fucking tough life. God damn it. That's a fucking tough life. You know, albinos be having a hard time. Her eyes used to jut. She had like yellowish gold eyes. They used to jut around real fast. That's how you knew she wasn't saying shit. But she had a serious disability. Anyway, my point is this. I had to sit around with these bitches. And I say bitches because I choose to empower the word bitches. Okay. I sat around with these bitches, mostly white, mostly white. And I had to learn to tolerate other people's versions of feminism. And that is the work that matters, that women learn to tolerate and accept other women's versions of feminism. We are not the same. I can't repeat that enough. We are not the same. We are not the same. We are not the same. All women are not the same. We don't think the same. We have different backgrounds. We are not the same. So therefore, there can be no what? Real or fake. But I'm going to lean into it. I'm a fake feminist, y'all. I'm a fake feminist. There can be no. Because if you understand that people come with who they are, if they love themselves and appreciate themselves and embrace themselves, they come with who they are to the table. And you and nobody else can be dismissive of that. People have a right to who they are. They are shaped by their environment, their family, their experiences, their background, their ethnicity. This is who I am. And you can't dismiss any of that. The white feminists found out that black women had some shit to say, and it wasn't the same shit that they had to say. We did not have the same fucking agenda. We did not have the same fucking opinions. And this is when white women realized that black women have a voice of their own. And all women have a voice of their own. And you don't have to like it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to appreciate what they think and say. But feminism is allowing other women the space to be who they are and appreciating that. That's what real feminism is about. So I had to learn a tolerance in that feminist women's college that I went to for many, many years. I had to learn to tolerate the voices of people I disagreed with. There were women in that class that would tell you that if you took a dick, that you were allowing men to subdue you. Yes, extremist feminist. The act of sex itself. You talking about, that's what I'm saying. We got to get deeper. People want to just have, I'm mad with niggas conversation. Let's go deeper. Have you ever had conversations and debates with women who will tell you that you cannot be a feminist if you submit sexually to men, if you enjoy sex with men because you are allowing him to penetrate, to enter? to involve himself in your body. And that act of itself is violence. Woo! Have you had those conversations when you're real feminist? Have you had those conversations? Debate it back and forth, the truth of that. Hmm? This is some real conversations have been had among feminists, real, well-trained and knowledgeable feminists. Yes, yes. The act of sex alone, even if it's violent, we're assuming it's voluntary. This is an act of pleasure for you as a woman, but these feminists will say that you are indoctrinated, that you are inherently subdued. Society taught you to accept it. That's not what women are supposed to do. I said, whoa, wow, how extreme, how unnatural that is. And my argument would be, well, how would people procreate? Well, how would this and that? Then these motherfuckers go start talking about alternatives and sperm banks and shit. I see, I'm a naturalist. I can't dig it. I can't dig it. If procreation by God is not possible, then I don't think that's an option. This is why the arguments happen. You understand? We had to just learn to tolerate each other. We had to learn to tolerate each other. If you want me to believe that I am clearly not a feminist because I enjoy sex with men and having sex with man in itself is an act of violence. You understand? So all these people who think they know so much about feminism, have you had that conversation? That the way that men and women have sex is in and of itself an act of violence perpetrated against women in the patriarchy. And you've been conditioned to accept it, right? These are real conversations. But I don't go to the stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Black men are trash. That's the real feminism. I've had deeper conversations. I've had lots of depth of conversation with lots of different people for many, many years in an academic setting, a feminist women's college where we explored it all. Propaganda, right? Ooh, that was one of my best classes. No Logo by Natalie Klein, I believe. No Logo. We explored advertisements and how people objectify women's bodies. I remember one of the articles that we went over was that beer and chicken or some shit like that by Ludacris. He had a bucket of chicken and he had a black woman's leg coming out of it. We had to go into the advertising, find magazines, and look at how they objectify women. We had to pull clips. We talked about objectification, and that is the point of feminism. Stop making women a one size fits all. Stop making women, and we're not talking about something men do. Y'all think women don't create the advertising? In these countries, we talked about female genital mutilation. These are all conversations we talked about feminism because at the root of it, women objectify other women. And that's the dangerous part. Bitch, you will think like me. Bitch, you will follow me. Bitch, you will listen to me. Bitch, you an object. That's the real danger. Not allowing women the liberty of self-empowerment. That's the real danger. Do y'all think it's men that's cutting clits off in Somalia and in West Africa doing female genital mutilation? It's not the men, it's the fucking women. There are women that'll say, I will make sure my daughter don't have no clit because I don't want her to be a hoe. Women are objects, again, to be enacted upon by men or women. So, feminism, if you really, really understand it, is about women's liberation. Women not being objects, women being individuals, women being empowered in whatever way that woman chooses to be empowered. And you don't have to fucking agree. I would say, with my feminist slant, that Martha Stewart was a motherfucking feminist. But there are people who will say, she's not a feminist. Look at her. She's married. She's cooking and shit. Because, see, you can't be a real feminist if you cook now. Don't forget that. Real feminists don't cook. We're against cooking. Fuck that. Because cooking is what men like. Fuck that. Men always talk about they want women to cook, so I'm not cooking. Are you empowered? Is that how you really feel? Or are you reactionary? You got to think about shit like that. Are you just reactionary? Or are you just built up angry? You got to think about shit like that. Is what you do motivated by getting back at somebody else? Is that empowerment? I'm just asking. Is the shit you talking how you really feel? Or is that something you saying because you got to make sure that you make the sisterhood happy, right? You got to buy into the stream of thinking. That what you call group think. I told y'all that one of my biggest interests in life, right? One of my biggest interests in life is cult mentality. I am overwhelmed by it. I think it is so interesting, cult mentality, group think. That's why I have so much interest in North Korea and different cults and stuff. Some of these organizations, they're very, very interesting. This group think. And I don't know if it's because I like the idea of personal liberation, and those things make you think you're liberated by buying into one idea. Maybe that's my fascination with it. How can people be fooled into thinking that they're getting liberation, right? But they're required to group think at the same time. I haven't figured it out yet, and I probably never will. But I am absolutely interested in group think. The propaganda of it, the control of it, the naming of people. Because see, when you do group think, you have to say, this is the one way, this is the only way. And if you think differently than this, then you are not only wrong, you're evil, you're dangerous, you are going to turn society. You have to assign a lot of meaning to not agreeing or thinking independently. You have to assign a lot to it in order to keep people in line. Ask North Korea. You can't allow a person to have their own opinion. It's not allowed in groupthink. If they choose to have their own idea, you have to, in groupthink, demonize that person. Explain how this person must be stopped and that their way of thinking, it needs to change. It must conform. Groupthink is all over the world, y'all. We see it in everything. Advertising is groupthink. So I see groupthink at play in these YouTube streets. I see it in the manosphere. You better say this and you better stick to it. All black bitches are bad. Okay? Right? We see it in the sisterhood. You better not fucking say anything good about a black man. Because you know what? Then you a mammy, bitch. You a mammy. And you dangerous and you no good. You no good to anybody. You dangerous to women. You got to assign all this shit to your individual thinking. That's part of the propaganda. That's part of the control. You got to do that. You got to tell people how to fucking think. And you must make them conform. You can't belong here if you don't think like this. You're going to get so much pushback. We're going to take you out of the club. We're going to dismiss you. We're going to call you names. We're going to tell you what you are, what you ain't. Bitch, you going to conform. You're going to conform now. Because you can't be here if you don't conform. Group think, group think, group think, group think. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Where is the personal liberation? This is why I'm so obsessed with groupthink and cults. I think the mechanisms of control of the mind are amazing. And you know what it boils down to, y'all? What it boils down to is ego. Ego. A lot of people need to belong to something. They need to be validated by somebody. They want people to know they're there and they want people to care. They want to belong. And in order to belong, they will allow their individual selves to be thrown and cast asunder. Fuck the me. Fuck my personal liberation. Fuck all of that. I want to belong. So I conform. I conform. Whatever you tell me to say, whatever you tell me to think, I'm going to do it. Because I want to be here and I want to belong. That is how groups are. Once you start saying certain shit, even if it's your personal truth or you're evolving, they can't tolerate it. They can't. You can't be here anymore. Y'all, I'm not trying to be funny, but even this whole Charlie Kirk thing, he had a change of heart, a come to Jesus moment, a change of mind. And nobody from Israel, any of his subscribers, his people, his inner circle, they said, no, Charlie, no. Stop it, Charlie. You can't think like that, Charlie. The group says this and you're going left. You need to go right, Charlie. They had an intervention, y'all. They had a whole fucking intervention. in Martha's Vineyard to change his mind, to get him back on track, to think like the group. Charlie, this is your last chance, Charlie. Change your mind, Charlie. Charlie, they're going to take the money. The investors are angry, Charlie. You Netanyahu's on the phone, Charlie. Charlie, change your mind. Change your mind, Charlie. He's like, no, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want his money. They said, wait a minute, Charlie. Charlie, you're going down a path, and we can't save you if you go down that path. Pow, pow, pow. Charlie gone. That's dangerous. That's fucking dangerous, okay? We talk about danger. That's fucking dangerous, okay? That's fucking dangerous. Forced group think is dangerous. So I'm the kind of person as an alchemist, when I see people trying to make people conform to their only way of thinking and using all the tactics of manipulation to do so, I say, what's that? hmm, what's that? I'm a liberated individual, y'all. I am. And I'm willing to pay the price for freedom of mind. I am. I'm willing to pay the price. I don't have to belong. I'm a Girl Scout, okay? I'm a Girl Scout. I grew up understanding that I am enough. By myself, I'm enough. I'm okay. I'm good. I come with all who I am, and all who I am is good enough. I come from that. And I fully embrace myself. I don't need to belong. I don't need approval. I'm so past that. You understand? I don't have to conform. I don't need to be mad. Because you know what? Let me tell you why I don't get mad about nothing. My daddy taught me a long time ago, my beautiful, amazing father. He taught me a long time ago. If you don't like something, he said you have the tools, the resources, and the power to change it. That's what my daddy said. Everything's a choice. He's always taught me that. He said, don't spend no time crying and whining and complaining. Get to the solution. That's what my daddy taught me. Get to a solution. You're not going to waste no emotional stress, this, that. Get to a solution. Create a plan, get a solution. Put your energy in that. That's my daddy. My daddy is a brilliant man. I love my daddy. That's what my daddy taught me. Self, I got what's what I call it? Self empowerment. I don't know what else to call it. Self empowerment. Empower yourself to find solutions for your problems. Ain't no need to be crying and angry. I'm not finna spend none of my feminist energy on being angry with men. Men ain't got shit to do with my fucking depression, okay? None. None. When I think about the oppression that I have felt in life, if I've had any oppression, it would be probably my ability to economically thrive because of the government's stupid ass decisions. If I felt any kind of, and that's what feminist talks about. Feminism is not just about, your sex. It's about the intersections. And so if I have any oppression, it's not really coming from no patriarch. I can't point to a man and be like, you oppressed me. That's why I'm saying feminism is not based on focusing on men. It's not. It's systems. The economic systems that we have that exist is probably the thing that if I say that oppressed me the most in life, it's that. This fucker got the whole goddamn economy upside down. This inflation. You see? That's the oppression I'm focused on. As a businesswoman, you oppressing me. You are systemically oppressing me with these fucking fucked up economic practices you're doing. Customers ain't calling like they used to. That's my oppression. I don't have no man on my neck right now, with a boot on my neck, holding me down. I don't have no man beating my ass. I can't point to any men. I'm just being honest. Now they gonna say that's a pick Misha, right? Because I'm admitting the truth, my personal, individual, self, female truth. Not allowed that now. I got to say what the crowd say. I got to say what the men everywhere are dragging me. I'm gonna try, y'all. I'm gonna try to work on my real, authentic, genuine feminine. I'm gonna try to work on it. Every man I see is fucking me up. I'm gonna try to work on it, y'all. I'm gonna try because I need to be authentic. You know what I'm saying? I gotta start giving my victim narratives. I gotta start telling all kind of stories that didn't happen. I guess I don't know because I haven't had. I ain't got none. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing. That feminist college that I got to, I told that story of Dr. Bailey. He's a man, a black man. He's the one who pushed me towards that school and said, "I'm gonna put you in the honor society, and I'm gonna put you through this math course audit so your ass can actually get through math. That was Dr. Bailey, a black man, who lifted me up and told me, I need you to go to Agnes Scott because you're so smart. I'm gonna get you a scholarship and a full ride. That was a black man. He didn't oppress me. You see what I'm saying? I don't got no tails, y'all. My daddy gave me everything, and he taught me how to be a human, an individual, how to be a good person, how to thrive in this world. My daddy didn't beat me. He didn't dog me. He didn't. I ain't got no daddy tails. I ain't got no victimhood. I'm so sorry, y'all. If I can't be real, I'm sorry. I got a good husband. You know, I ain't complaining about nothing. We have fun together. We make fries. We make puddings together. I don't have no victim tales, y'all. Forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. I'm not angry and bitter. I'm sorry. And if I can't be part of the sisterhood, it's okay. Y'all, this shit is hilarious. I'm trying so hard. And the more I dig, the more I realize I really am empowered. I'm realizing the men of the blessing that I've had in my life. But I can't say that because I got to be a feminist, right? Let me go back to I'm angry. I got victimhood. I'm trying, y'all. I'm struggling, but I got to come up with some victim narrative, some authentic shit that happened to me, and I'm struggling. Y'all might write something down. Maybe I can use my imagination. I am a writer, you know. I'm a creative writer, so maybe I can work on it, and I can figure out how to fake some some victimhood and getting beat down. And I don't know. I don't have it. I'm not speaking of other women's experience. I'm saying on mine. So maybe I don't qualify as a feminist 'cause I don't have a whole bunch of shit that I can line up and say men did to me. Maybe that makes me a pick Misha because I just didn't have those experiences. Maybe I can never be a real feminist because I'm not angry. I'm not mad and I'm not focused on men. I don't know. I don't know what to do with me. And maybe I'm just a lost soul. Maybe I'm an unfortunate. I'm an unfortunate anomaly. I don't know. Maybe I'm a victim because I'm not a victim. That's you see, double victim. Oh, God damn. Okay. Let me go back. I'm having too good of a time here. I be entertaining myself. Y'all gotta forgive me. Hold on, let me look at these comments. Let me scroll. I ain't washed a dish. I'm just sitting here just having me a good time. You think I'm drunk? I'm not drinking. I just want y'all to know I'm drinking. Let me show it to you. I don't want y'all to think I'm early morning drunk. I'm not. I'm high on myself. That's chai tea right there. Chai. Y'all see the green shit? Yeah. I don't know nobody say May got up drunk. Nope, nope, nope. I'm high on my own supply. Let me see. Let me read these comments. All right. We said media is emotional manipulation. Poor women never stood a chance. Their optimism is more precious but easier to control. Why must we why we must defeat evil? Okay, all right. Not sure exactly, but I hear you. I read it and I think about it. But that's the thing, propaganda. So anyway, my point is this. There are lots of types of feminists. And there are women who are what you call separatist feminists. I want to go through a couple. There are separatist feminists. And separatist feminists believe that men, because they are inherently evil, do not need to be part of institutions or society, and therefore women should create their own environment and stay away from men. I do believe I just came across some tribe of women in California somewhere. They bought some land and they call themselves separatist feminists, and they don't want any men around. I had um, I went to school with some of those separatist feminists. One of them was a second generation lesbian. Very, very interesting girl. I remember we had something called, it's kind of like a homecoming. See, women's college don't have football and stuff, so we do shit different. We had a homecoming week, and it was mostly like themes and stuff, right? It was mostly like themes. We had a theme, like a topic, and then we would dress a certain kind of way. It is very cheesy, corny stuff. Like you have to be poison ivy one day, which means you wear green and you decorate yourself with flowers, like you're a walking garden. This is a women's college. Don't judge it. But yeah, poison ivy was a day, and people would wear poison ivy shirts and the themes and this and that. We had several different days that we would do these costumes and shit for homecoming. We just celebrate different than. co-ed colleges. But we did have one thing, which is a dance. It was a formal dance. This came from the time period when Agnes Scott College began as a finishing school for wealthy white Southern planters' daughters. This is the history of the school. And I think it was in like the 50s, 60s that it started to change and become a feminist college. That's the accurate depiction of the school. And it fully embraced feminism from that point forward. 1950s, 60s, yeah, fully embraced it and onward, got more extreme. I would say it's quite extreme now. Um, but one of the things that happened was a dance. We had a formal dance. They kept that one tradition from old time. You know how you have what they call debutante balls where you present the young women? It's kind of like that. The school kept this tradition. Um, it is not, in my opinion, likely anything that feminists, they probably have stopped it at this point. They're feminists a lot of times would co-sign, okay? But anyway, this a dance nonetheless. So what they do is they invite the men from, because see, that's too much like heteronormativity. So they probably have stopped that since. The idea that women want to be with men, they probably have since stopped that. Because this newest wave of feminism promotes gender neutrality. I hate it. And I'll talk about that myself as a anyway. I'll get to that in a minute. But I need to wash these dishes. I think I'm only gonna wash dishes when I'm listening to something because I get too into what I'm saying. I'm having a good time. Um, turf. I'm a turf feminist. And so my guess is that, and I'll talk about turf in a minute. I'm a turf feminist, and I think that's what I'm saying. We be battling in feminism. There are battles, and a turf would, we don't really use that whole thing of somebody's fake and somebody's real. We just name this is the type of feminist that you currently are because people change. And I'm a humanist feminist. But let me go back to it. Because of the newest wave of feminism's powerful impact, I'm going to guess that they do not have these dances anymore. But when I was back there in the 2000s, right, when I was going to school, that was almost 20 years ago. That was more than 20 years ago. When I was at that school, we had a formal ball, okay? A formal ball. That's men and women coming together in a formal space with formal clothing, very elegant. This is from the old school, you know, this was a tradition. This was a chance for courtships to happen. You understand? So they were keeping that tradition. So what they do is they formally invite Morehouse men from the school of Morehouse College or university because that's something new they did because they have black women there. They would invite formally the men of Morehouse to come to our ball at the Feminist Women's College. They would also invite Emory University to come. The men from Emory University. This is where all your doctors and lawyers and uppity ups, this is where they come from. Because a lot of girls came there to get married. It's 50-50. Had 50% are hardcore feminists, and the other 50% are highly traditional women, which is very interesting. Had a lot of Muslim women at that World for Women. Had a lot of Catholic women there. Talking about keep your legs closed. So it's a whole world of women. You had to learn how to tolerate all kind of people, accept and honor all kind of people. Because women bring who they are. They bring all of who they are. And who the fuck are you to tell them they got to leave somebody or part of themselves at the door? Who the fuck are you? That's the one thing we learn about feminism. You cannot reject other women because they carry who they are. That is very important. That is one of the most central things to understand about feminism. That individual women come with who they are, and you need to acknowledge that and honor that. Your experience is not going to be my experience. My brain is not going to be your brain. We are individuals. We are not objects because we're women. Understood. This is the most important thing to understand about feminism, real understanding of true feminism. Respecting that other women bring who they are to the table and honoring that. Not trying to make them conform to who you want them to be. We already have plenty of institutional, systemic things that try to force women to be what people want them to be. We don't need women to do that to each other, do we? Oh, that's too much feminism. Too much. Anyway, so I'm getting back to this ball. I'll never forget it. I met a second generation lesbian separatist feminist, and she put such an impression on me. And I have to say, I felt bad for her. I felt very bad for her because the world she lived in is a world of constant paranoia and victimhood. She never actually, in my opinion, experienced the world for herself because they taught her to stay separate from men. So she only got their version of life. And I felt that was very limiting for her. Poor child. So I'll never forget her. Anyway, the balls allowed Morehouse, Georgia Tech, and Emory male students to come formally. And they always came. They came with the tuxedos and shit, you know. And the women, we came with our dresses and stuff. And we had a good time at these balls, these annual balls. It's just one a year during homecoming. And I remember what they do with our ball is we would have a very big what you call it, hotel. We would have a very big hotel like the Hyatt or the Hilton or whatever, and they would rent out the ballroom. And then our school would decorate the shit very beautifully, very elegant, very formal. And there would be high quality food. I mean, just elegance for this ball. They put a lot of money into this ball. And a lot of girls who had boyfriends or fiancés, they would invite them to the ball. Okay. And a lot of us would just go there and just have a good time. We just have a good time. If you didn't have a date, it's fine. You go there and you have a good time. Well, some of us got hotel rooms. Collectively, we got hotel rooms. Not to spend the night, but because we wanted to have like a party in there before the ball, somewhere to go to, change, use the bathroom, change clothes, whatever. So maybe 10 of us would pay for one hotel room just as a space like a powder room. You go upstairs, hang out, come back down. Some people spent the night there, like sleeping bags. It just depends. And I will never forget the retelling in the feminist women's class, women's studies class, I should call it, the next day. One of the girls raised her hand. I didn't even know all this about her until this day. And she talked about how she thought she could go to the ball. And she said she walked into the room and she saw all those men and she froze. She said that she was overwhelmed with fear and intimidation. And she said that she felt like the school should not have that ball because there are women like her who feel danger around men. Now, y'all know my big ass eyeballs was looking at her like she was out of her fucking mind. I'm like, bitch, where you been living? That's what I'm thinking. I think most of us, because we are not second generation separatist feminists, we don't know what the fuck is going on with her. I'm thinking, is this bitch cuckoo? Right? These are my thoughts. I didn't say anything. And she proceeds to explain her situation. She says that due to her, she's never experienced trauma, but due to her understanding about the nature of men and the fact that she has never engaged with them, she has always avoided them. Her mother and her mother's girlfriend, they had her through in vitro fertilization or some shit like that, sperm bank. So she's a what you call a test tube baby. She came from the union of lesbians. I would say privileged, wealthy lesbians. So she had, because they were lesbians, been in a women's only world. How the fuck she did that, I do not know. I really don't understand what you would have to navigate to keep a child away from men their whole life. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how you would begin. So what she explained is that and I was like, but you didn't go to school with boys? Like, she must go to a women's only church. There are women's only gyms. She went to a women's only private preparatory school from the beginning of her life. She went to a preparatory female only school all of her life. If she was in Girl Scouts, if they secluded her, which is so weird, from males and engagement with males, you only have female teachers, you only engage with females your whole fucking life, female institutions. And they have places where you go and it's only a female only restaurant. There's a place called Cheris Books here in Atlanta. It is a LGBTQ. It is very fem. I've never seen a man in that bitch. I'm just being honest with y'all. There are institutions, there are places that you can say, oh, that's women only, women only, women only. They create shit like that. There are women only churches, women only ministries. I'm just saying. So I think her parents, these two women, must have put a fucking serious effort into secluding her from men, or men are somebody that she sees at a distance. Like maybe if she goes through Walmart, she's not talking to them, engaging them. She sees one here and there. They literally secluded that girl from males interacting. I don't think she's even talked to a male. Who knows? She might be watching only queer only, gay only, female, or maybe the only males that she's aware of are like, trans or sissy like men, very feminine. I do not know. Anyway, I'm not going to drag that on because it blows my mind that you literally have fear going into a ball. And most of these men are paired with women already. So what the fuck rational fear do you have? I had thousands of questions. She and her conversation became the center of the topic for the fucking day because we had never ever heard the perversions, in my opinion, of how feminism in the extreme can ruin a fucking person, not a woman, a person. This girl had no idea of what men are, what they're like, or anything. She is a virgin. She would probably and likely never touch a man and go dying a virgin. I'm just saying, not that that's important, but that's how extreme it is. She never had a boyfriend, never touched a boy, never been around no boys, no nothing. They protected her from men. And so she talked about how she ended up spending her night, y'all. Now, is this empowerment? That's my question. Is this empowerment? She's spending her night in fear. She didn't spend her money on these expensive ass tickets. These tickets was not free. I'm just gonna tell you. She stayed in the hotel room upstairs because she was afraid that there were too many men in the room. She said when she went into the room, her stomach dropped. She said she was nervous and shaking. She had a physical reaction to seeing men as a mass. Men in a formal place where they have paid tickets and they have dates with tuxedos on. Man, it blew my fucking mind. I have seen a lot of versions of feminism, y'all. This one was unique. A separatist, second generation lesbian feminist. Her whole life is surrounded by women and femaleness only. And that girl has so much victimhood in her heart. I've never seen that like it. She ain't experienced no men, but she can tell you everything men and did and how evil they are based on what she's been taught. Wow. Just fucking wow. I have depths and understandings of feminism in its extreme and in its regularness that I can't even articulate here. I've been so involved in feminist culture and exposure to a variety of feminist thought. I can't even begin to explain and explore it all in this space. You understand? That was fucking extreme. So this is how she spent her night. She didn't pay her ticket, dressed up, did all that. She walked in and she said she needed support. That's what she said. I was so offended by her being victimhood of nothing. I just listened. I held on to every word while she was talking. And Dr. Hackett, a lesbian feminist teacher, gave her the floor to talk and speak. And what she described was her shaking uncontrollably, crying, and she had a group of girls who were also feminists escort her as support, right? Because she's fragile now. She's fragile. That the girl ain't been raped, and ain't nothing happened to her. She would have told us that ain't happened. And they escorted her up the elevator, took her in to the room they had rented for the night at the Hilton or whatever that was. Hyatt. I think it was a Hyatt from the ballroom. And she proceeded to cry and shake until she felt better. Do y'all know how she explained how she, they asked her, well, well, how'd you spend the rest of your night? She said there were girls who got drunk in her group. And so some of them was coming upstairs and throwing up. She said she spent the evening in that room helping the girls that threw up, holding their hair over the toilet. Mighty feminist. Instead of you having a good time, you up there holding people's hair while they throw up. All right, bitch. So much for feminism. You're real empowered. That shit's crazy. Let me read what's said. Um, I can agree with that. You have to tolerate who they are because she brings all of who she is with her. Yeah, absolutely. May I tagged you in an excerpt from this live. I also clipped that part in the video. I can send it to you if you would like. Sure, just I'll share the tag. It's cool. Whatever you want to clip, that's cool. Um, yeah, send it to me and I'll share it out too. No problem, Candy. Anytime. Okay. So yeah, ambassador, you gotta that's part of feminism. You gotta accept it's not about men, it's not about hating men. It's about not dumbing yourself down for nobody, not men, not women. You cannot not express yourself because other women. Fuck the sisterhood. The sisterhood requires me to have experiences I don't have. But fuck the sisterhood. I'm a mammy then, if that's what you want to call me. I'll wear it, I'll embrace it. I don't got no victim tales. I have compassion for other women who have had problems, but I have compassion for men who've had problems. I don't have to take a side. I'm not a gender warrior. And that's what we need. We need the fucking fake feminists to get out of feminism and go to the gender war and stay their ass over the fucking there. That's the problem. You got gender warriors hiding in feminism and they want to kick feminists out. Feminism ain't got shit to do with men. Nothing. And that's the thing right there. That I had to learn. Look at what you did to yourself, extremist, separatist, feminist. Look what you did to yourself. Look at the kind of hell you live in. Look at it. You are literally fucked up the rest of your life. You can't even enjoy half of the species on the planet for their conversation, for their talents, for their resources, for anything. You can't have a conversation with a man. Bitch, you fucked up and your mama and them fucked you up on that lesbian shit. They fucked you up. You ain't gonna be okay. You got fucked up trying to embrace and embody a ideology to its extreme. You are fucked up, and she looked fucked up. The bitch was fat. She had on fucking nose rings and shit all over her face, multicolored red hair. I remember her. I sat there and I stared at her ass for an hour and a half in disbelief. I ain't never heard of no shit like that. Men make you shake and cry on sight. What the fuck? What the fuck? I can't take you serious. I tried. I have been exposed to feminism on so many levels. Valid, real that's valid. That's real. That's second generation. That's second generation. Okay? That shit ain't no joke. Second generation. And you came out of a test tube. Them motherfuckers was serious about that gay shit. You understand? Now, let me just get to it. I'm trying to explain. There are radical feminists. These women are extremists. Okay? They are the extremists. They're your antifa, okay? They are your antifa. Radical feminists are extreme. They want to undo men, undo everything a man's ever done, take men's rights. They want to tell men that they are the terror and the scourge of the earth, and they want to prove it. They want to take down everything that men have ever accomplished and erase it from the earth. This is the goal of the radical feminists, to undo men. I'm sorry. If that's what being a real feminist is, I am a fake one. I do not hate men. I do not hate the foundation upon which every structure has been built. I do not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got to get my sisterhood card removed. I'm sorry. I'm a fake feminist. I'm dangerous as fuck. I got to tell you, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I'm not mammy, and I'm just telling you the truth. These things are fruitless. They're worthless. Being angry with random ass fucking class of men. It's stupid. That's just gender war because you're mad about something on the inside. I'm gonna tell the truth. I can't conform. I can't group think on that. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm fake and I'm dangerous. I'm a fake fucking feminist. I'm sorry. I got more knowledge in my pinky finger than most bitches do about feminism. But I'm fake. I'm fake as fuck. Y'all understand? So the last thing I'll say is this. 'Cause I gotta wash these dishes. I ain't wash shit. Well, I watched three. And I gotta get to my productivity. And I'm about to help my husband fry these goddamn fries and see if they turn out right. You understand? So we have the radical feminists who want to undo everything men ever did, and a lot of that includes a lot of focus on men and victimhood. That's not actually very feminist. It's not female centered. Well, they say it's female centered, but if you focus on undoing men, then I think it kind of looks men centered, in my opinion. But they say if they push the men out and they rebuild institutions and rebuild the world in female frame and form, then that is justification for a focus on men. Okay, fine. I'll go with that. So I tolerated my radical feminist classmates and what do you call it? Alums. Okay. And I say tolerate because it's not easy to hear some of these things, but you have to learn to listen to other women and let them have a voice and it be valid. That's part of feminism. Let other women be. You don't have to correct them, tell them what to think, who to think, and what to think, and how to think, and they're wrong. You don't do that. That's not feminism. Honoring who she is, and she's not an object, she's an individual. That is feminism. Letting her speak and have her voice. And if she wants to assign meaning to something, let her define what she's assigning. This is my version. This is my definition. You understand? That's how feminists talk. That don't mean you got to agree with my motherfucking definition, but I'm telling you what my definition is. This is my working definition for feminism. This is my definition of patriarchy. And your definition and mine may be different. And Webster doesn't become the motherfucking go to end all be all. I'm telling you what I understand feminism. This is the difference between regular people and feminist thinking. You define things and you explain your understanding, your working definition for a thing. And people understand that your working definition is working while you're talking and use your definition as such to understand where you are coming from. As an individual, not part of group think, you understand. But in group think, you have to tell people what the definition is, right? And that has authority over everything and everybody in every conversation. Interesting, isn't it? Group think. Group think. Anyway, I don't do that. You know, that's just not my thing. And I think that's partly because I have a lot of academic training. I'm not saying others don't, but my academic training allows people the space to give definitions, assign the meaning, and be clear. I'm assigning meaning to this. And to point out, hey, you're assigning extra meaning to this word. Or your definition infers the following. You understand? That's more academic. And maybe this ain't the space for that shit. You understand? People just prefer to make assumptions and then attack you for your assumptions, right? Or attack you for your definition. Because that's the fun. That's the fun. If it was academic, it wouldn't be emotional. You understand? And people want emotionalism. They want controversy. They want to be able to have wars and battles and courts and you're wrong, you're right, judgments, you know. Ah, eh. It's for entertainment purposes. I get it. I fucking get it. But I'm here today to authentically tell you guys that I am a fake feminist and I'm dangerous. And I want to explain how. Anyway, let me get back to the other kinds of feminists. We have the radical feminists, the separatist feminists, right? Separatist feminists tend to be lesbians. A lot of radical feminists tend to be lesbians. So when you hear women who are talking extremes, a lot of them, they will tell you that you have to kind of be a gay. You have to kind of be a gay to be authentic. Again, I honor their version. I'm not going to argue your point, but I ain't going to conform to it either. So a lot of feminists would say that you have to be a lesbian, heart, mind, body, and soul. You have to be a woman who cannot at all connect with men emotionally, sexually. You just can't do it. That's a real feminist. Some will tell you that. They'll tell you that. I don't subscribe to that, but that's what some will tell you. Most radical feminists and separatist feminists, they are definitely lesbians, okay? Most of them. Some of them might be bisexual, but there's a lot of controversy behind bisexuals. They say you ain't choosing and you got to pick. That's groupthink again, groupthink. So there's all kind of, gender shit going on there. Now, you also have what you call a basic traditional feminist, run of the mill feminist. They believe, simple and plain, that women have the right to be empowered. This is what now National Organization of Women, these are not extreme women. They think that women should have the right to vote, da 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 da, right? And they will fight for and empower anything that they believe is helping women in the workplace, in laws. This is probably where most of the power lies, you guys. Most of the power lies in mainstream feminists. They are your academics. Most of your academics are run of the mill Democrats. They're feminists. A lot of men fall into this line of feminism, basic, simple, and plain feminism. Okay? That's down the middle. It's not an extreme, that's down the middle. And then you have what I would call, okay, myself, which is a humanist feminist. So it's very close, very close. I believe in the universal understanding that human beings, particularly women, have a right to be humans. They have a right to human rights. I focus on human rights. I want universal human rights for all women in the whole world. Okay. And most of the mainstream feminists, there a lot of times they're focused on the United States and whatever Western country they're in. I'm focused on global. That's why I call myself a humanist feminist. I believe human rights should be extended to all women in all parts of the world. I want the liberation of women in any country to be able to run for office, to vote, to be able to read, to be literate, to go to college, to have any academic activity they want to do, to be empowered to say, I don't want to be married. I want to be married. I want children. I don't. Human fucking rights, just rights. As a human, treat me like a fucking human. Fuck me being female or male or whatever. Treat me like a human. Treat people like humans. Just treat me like a human, a person. I want personhood. I want to be seen as a person with my own individual fucking functions and my own desires. And you don't impede that. That's all I'm asking for. Human rights. That'll take us a long way. I'm a humanist feminist. So a lot of people would say, oh, well, you're fake. I might be. I might be. Because me being a humanist feminist it does not mean that I'm with all that other shit. Don't assign extra shit to me. Do not assign extra shit to me. Humanist feminists don't have nothing to do with me hating a man or wanting to undo men. Okay? A humanist feminist doesn't have anything to do with saying that all women need to be gay. Okay? Or gay is the way. I don't co-sign none of that gay shit. None. That ain't got nothing to do with my feminism. None. I'm focused on human rights for women. Individual rights for women, getting away from objectification of women. That's it. All that anger, emotion, and shit. If that makes me, if humanist feminist makes me fake and dangerous, so be it. I have to claim that shit. Because I don't got no emotion. I don't got no anger. I don't got no vendettas. I ain't hunting men. I don't want to, subdue and stomp on men. And I don't got it. I'm not signing up for shit else. You understand? I'm signing up for one thing. To protect the human rights of women. That's it. That's type of feminist I am. And what I focus on is objectification. I do not want to be an object. Okay? I want to be an individual. Every woman is her own individual. And whatever she says is her fucking liberation is her fucking liberation. So guess what? If a woman in Somalia says it is my desire to have my coochie cut, I say, well, more power to you if that's what you want. You understand? Whereas a regular feminist would tell that woman all the ways that she's wrong and she needs to undo this and she needs to, you see, they become your dictator. They're going to tell you how to think about your shit and your culture. I'm not that person. If that Somalian woman says it is my desire to have my coochie cut, I want FGM for myself. I'm going to tell her, I don't do that. I wouldn't do that. I believe it's da 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 da. But honey, I respect your right to do exactly what your female ass wants to do. Have your liberation. That's what you call it. I'm about women getting what the fuck they want, even if it's not to their own best interest. Who are you to dictate to a woman what she wants and desires more than she is? Make that make sense. That's that group think shit again. And sometimes we don't really hate the oppressor. We're just mad we ain't the oppressor. Ah! Check that out. We're not against oppression. We're just mad because we're not the oppressor. I'm not mad that society's telling you what to do. I'm mad because I don't get to tell you what to do. It's a big difference, y'all. I'm about female empowerment. If a woman, now I'm gonna go to the next one. So I'm a humanist feminist. You got mainstream feminism, you got extreme radical feminists, and all that shit. You got separatist feminists. Then what you got is what people would call what's it called? Gynocentric feminists. I've been moving that way a little bit. Gynocentric feminism. Ooh, it's a real thing. Gynocentric feminists are on the edge of extreme. Not extreme, but the opposite end. I won't call them extremists. Gynocentric feminists say that I will embrace all that is feminine. All that is feminine is good. All that is feminine is good. They embrace flowers. You will see these white women, particularly, they walk around like, I don't know what you call it. They wear dresses a lot. A lot of them are like witches. I'm just telling you. They have fairies and shit. They get into a lot of fantasy and beautiful stuff. They have flowers every fucking where. They love the feminine. They are very different. They're not what you like. Again, don't think that feminism means you're angry and you're on a rampage and you're out here trying to protest in the street. There's so many different types of feminists. Gynocentric feminists will center themselves around a kitchen. They like to do herbs and witchcraft and all kinds of things. They like to garden. What else? They worship female deities. They reject Christianity. They want a female Lilith. Kali. They have created a female-centered, in my mind, alternative universe, if I can describe it as that. They have images of women and nature because women are nature, right? And they're very naturalistic, holistic, vegans and shit. They want to save the earth. They're environmentalists. I would say that girl, she probably is likely a gynocentric feminist. What's the girl with the little girl? Oh, I forget her name. Okay, but you have some extremes even in that to some extent because you have some women that want to wear all the makeup and wear all the fashion and this and that. They want to wear the dresses, and you got, I would say, sexual liberation feminists that might fall in line with the gynocentric. My pussy is beautiful. Let me take pictures of it. I'm just telling y'all, these are the gamut of feminists, right? These are women. I mean, some of them extreme. Some of them they do this thing. I won't even get into it because it's kind of nasty. But they do this thing called bloodletting or some shit. They don't use like feminine products. They be like, wherever I have my period, whatever it touches, oh fucking well, I will not stop it. I'll let it flow. Oh, I'm telling you, these gynocentric feminists, they can be extreme. Why should I put a tampon? I will let it drip wherever it goes. I'm not judging. I'm just telling y'all, right? These are the women who want to have many children as they can. They want to birth the nation. They love birth because birth. These doulas, midwives, these new midwives, Erica Badu, right? These are some real people out here. These gynocentric feminists, okay? They're tree huggers. They're women who go and do yoga. They're embracing the mind, body, soul, femininity. They're tapping into their divine female, right? The divine feminine. You will hear these terms. This is very attractive, right? They embrace womanhood, motherhood. That what is it called? The bear mother? No, not bear. Tiger mom. Women's empowerment. These are also women who say you can go into a corporate setting and you can turn your feminine energy into something powerful, right? So embracing the female, embracing the stomach, right? The henna tattoos all over the pregnant big bowl of a stomach. This is gynocentric feminism. I embrace levels of gynocentric feminism. These are women who take pride in their home. They Martha Stewart, okay? They like sewing. They like wearing dresses. These bitches don't even want to wear underwear because they want their coochie free. These women want their feet in the soil, right? So they can be grounded by Earth Mother. I'm not being funny. I'm being a little, over the top. But I'm just giving you guys a gamut of feminism. But the only thing in Black YouTube that people think is feminism, the only fucking expression of feminism, is a black bitch being mad with a black nigga because he a loser, right? Black men don't control anything. You guys don't have any dominion. White men got their foot on your neck. We're not following you. You ain't no leader. I hate black men. I hate black men. You guys ain't shit. Y'all, this is the only feminism. Groupthink. This is the only way that you can be a feminist. This is the only way. This right here is all feminine energy, right? This is my feminism embodied. This is it. Feminine energy, beauty, right? I have flowers here in the spring. I love flowers. I like growing flowers. That's not going to be acceptable. My embrace of the feminine is not acceptable to angry women who hide in feminism when they're just gender warriors. They don't want none of this hearth home love, energy of healing the home, kitchen work, embracing the folding of the clothes. That's not acceptable. They have to dictate to me, to tell me, bitch, get out the kitchen, you oppressed. They gotta tell me don't cook shit for that nigga, let him not eat. Let him be hungry, let him starve, divorce him. Put him on child support. Then, and only then. When I divorce my husband, then I'm a feminist. When I drag my husband and I have conflict with him, then I'm a feminist, right? Y'all tell me what feminism is. That's what it is. Talk down to him, try to control him, won't let him be a man, take his pride. Is that feminism? Drag him, put him on child support, keep dragging him. I'm just asking, is that the feminist? Would I get a feminist card if I do that type of shit? I ain't looking for none. I'm just giving examples of what maybe it would get me one. I'm exploring ideas here. What does it take to be in the sisterhood? Because apparently I'm a fake feminist and I'm dangerous. I'm just saying. That group think is something else, y'all. That group think is something else. There is a price to pay when you don't do group think. Ask Charlie Kirk. Charlie, change your mind, Charlie. Charlie, that's it. You're reaching the edge, Charlie. You're going too far. You're not thinking like the group, Charlie. Charlie, there are consequences. You better think, Charlie. People are getting angry, Charlie. People are second guessing your leadership, Charlie. You're not going with the group, Charlie. That's dangerous. Groupthink. This is why, again, I have interest in that. Let me tell y'all one thing. I have two things I want to explain real quick before I go, because I still ain't got to these dishes. And I am very much about my productivity. Let me see, who is that? It says you are an undercover feminist. BGS, hey, what's going on? I am a feminist. I am a feminist, BGS. That's my whole point of this. I am a feminist. But listen, BGS, the sisterhood kicked me out. They kicked me out because they said that I wasn't conforming to the group think good enough. I don't have enough victim stories and I don't hate black men enough and I don't have emotional. And the fact that I'm even talking to you, I'm definitely a pick me. I want to be picked, I guess. I'm failing right now being a feminist talking to you, you know, because you over there doing the opposite shit, but with men. Same shit, but opposite. Anyway, yeah, I'm definitely a feminist, but my feminism just doesn't fit and conform to the gender war. That's all. My feminism is not focused on men and victimhood of men, and I mean women being victims of men and all of that. I don't conform, so I guess people are in authority to tell me if I'm fake or real, and I'm kind of just pondering and thinking on it. That's all. That's all. So I want to explain because I was not given the space to explain when I was having the discussion with the group that said I'm a fake feminist. And I'm being lighthearted here. Don't take me serious. Hopefully, this will be some more content for somebody. I guess I don't know. People love to drag a bitch for not conforming. I'm a mammy now, so y'all got to mammy drag me. Mammy drag me. I invite it. It's fun. It's fun. It's good fun. It's good entertainment. It's clicks and likes and views. Hopefully, some cash apps. Help yourself. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, I want to explain myself. I had given a scenario, and I guess my scenario wasn't good enough the way I explained it because I wasn't given the proper time to explain myself. But anyway, I was explaining that as a woman, I have had situations where men have tried to be kind to me, and I understood it as such. But in the moment, their chivalry, their support, their help, their compassion was inappropriate. And I found an appropriate way to deal with it, to address it. I'll give you the scenario. I am a woman who left an indoor, air conditioned career, right? A field I was good at, easy work, sedentary work, not stressful in the fact that, I'm in an environment where I don't have to do much to work for my good money. I left that shit. I left teaching. I left the classroom. Okay. I chose to do so. I opened up a business. Okay. I opened up a business intentionally, having lots of heavy equipment, tents, tables, chairs, dance floors, all kinds of heavy things that I own as my inventory. I am a driver of a truck. Okay. So I chose to get out of the chair and get into the truck driver seat. I drive my truck. You understand? A big truck. I load my truck. And when I get to a destination, I may be the only fucking person unloading the truck. And I have massive amounts of work to do. I have to drive my truck, park my truck on the street. I have to get my equipment. See, I'm a smart woman, so I know that I'm not that goddamn strong. I'm a little stocky bitch, so I got some strength. I ain't no skinny twig bitch, and I used to lift weights. So I got some strength, but I know my limits, right? So I bought a whole bunch of carts and things to make up for the fact that I do not have all the strength. This is why I brought plastic tables instead of wood tables. I can lift the plastic tables. They're not that fucking heavy. But to onlookers who see me as 5'2", a short little fat black woman, say, oh my God, she looks like she's struggling. I'm in that truck pulling chairs and loading and banging and making all kind of noise on the side of the street. And you can see it. All you gotta do is turn around. You see all these men looking like, oh, hell no. I see the pain in their eyes. They say, oh no, not the 5'2" little short lady in that truck all by herself. They think I can't do my job. I've seen it 1,000 times. And I'm in there banging around and pulling chairs and this and that, unloading and loading stuff. And it never failed. My beautiful black men, they care. They're some compassionate. They're kind. Strangers to me, but I see the brotherhood, sisterhood connection instantly. They look at me, my 5'2", my short little ass, and they say, sister, I want to help you. They either say it or I see it in their face as they're walking up to me. And a lot of them, most of them, they don't even want to ask me. They think that I am going to be grateful, like it's a relief to me. They will come up and they will grab chairs, they'll grab tables, they'll start pulling shit out. I say, hey, brother, what you doing? Oh, I'm just going to help you. See that my feminist kicked in. I'm like, hey, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I know you think I'm suffering. I know you see the sweat on me. You see my little fat, short ass scrambling around, moving and shit. And you think I need help, but I don't. Because guess what? I'm fat. And this is a workout for me. I'm empowering myself doing this sweating. Let me sweat this fat ass off, right? They don't see the whole picture. They just see what they want to see, which is I understand a short black woman is distressed and she's in need. She's weak and I'm strong and I'm going to save her. I get it. I know it. It comes from a loving place. This is what I was trying to explain to these women. See, we got to stop looking at women as a class and objective object. We got to see the individual. I'm a woman who chose this work. I'm not some poor woman struggling on a job I hate. I'm actually the business owner. I don't think these men walked up. I'm not blaming them. They came from a place of compassion. They came from a place of love. They came from a place of help. which is the only way I know most black men to be. They don't like to see women struggle. Okay. So I'm not blaming them. This is not about the black men. This is about me explaining as a business owner how I, as a woman, felt because I know what's required of me. Two things I know. Two things I know. I know that I have an invoice in my hand for a significant amount of money. I know that that invoice in my hand includes a delivery fee. You understand? I'm delivering. I know that this amount on this invoice is going to be paid for me doing my job. This invoice has my fucking name on it. It has my business name at the top. That's my business. I am being paid to do a job that I am capable of doing. Right? I'm going to unload this truck and I arrive extra early because I know I don't move as fast as men. I arrive extra early. I make concessions for my lack of physical dexterity. I do that. I come extra 30 minutes. I can take my time and feel my muscles burn. I do that. Okay? I make up. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm a man. I'm not a man. That's why I got 30 extra minutes to unload. I can take my fucking time. I will sit down in that truck and take a fucking break because I'm a woman and I know I'm pushing my limits. Okay? I know I'm not dismissing womanhood. That's why I got fucking carts. I don't try to hand carry and all that shit. I put it on the fucking cart and I pull it. I use my body weight to pull it. I have made all the concessions I can make for being weaker physically. I have done that. I planned that. I know that. These men don't know that. They think I'm probably some woman who's struggling, who would rather be, somewhere else doing something else. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. They made a lot of assumptions and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. They're coming from a place of compassion. I see their hearts. But it never fails. When I look out of my truck, I see black men who are on the streets in the city of Atlanta where I'm delivering and they want to help me. I appreciate you, black man. I know what the intention is. I don't take nothing from it. I wish we had more black men like that. But this sister right here, this individual black woman chose this. I am not suffering. My sweat is not a problem. It is needed. I'm fat. I need to work out. Okay? So don't take my workout from me. Don't take my muscle burn from me. But this black man would grab my tables, grab my chairs, just grab it because they just know I need their help and I'm not going to reject it. I'll be in my truck. I hear some noises and shit. I turn around. This brother carrying my shit up. Whoa, whoa. Where do I take this? Where do I put it? Pass me some more. I'm like, hey, brother, put that down. Brother, put that down. Brother, put that down. What, sister? Hold on. I come over to listen, brother. And in the most sincere way I can, I always put my hand on them because I want them to know I feel you. And I want you to feel my sincerity. I always put my hand on them when I come over to them because we like that in Atlanta. We like that. We know each other. We cousins. And I put my hand on them, I look them straight and I say, brother, I appreciate you. I want you to know that. But I got to do this job. I got to do it. I appreciate your help. I really do. Thanks so much. Oh, you don't need help? No, I'm good, brother. I'm good. I got to do this. And none of them ever took it wrong. Most of them are baffled. They're confused as fuck. You can see it in their eye. They're like, I thought, I assumed. Yeah, I know you did. But I'm fat. I need to work out. Okay. I need all this sweat. I need all of it. I'm not trying to be obese the rest of my life. I need the sweat, brother. Don't take my sweat from me. But I don't want to. I don't want to make you feel less than. I don't want to demean you. I understand the chivalry and I respect it, but not me. Then not me. Not this individual woman. Not me. That's all I'm saying. And I don't think that's dangerous. They accuse me of ruining men because I tell men I don't need their help. Well, see, let me tell y'all. See, I didn't get a chance to explain myself. There's a couple of layers here of businesswoman that they don't maybe know about or they didn't think of. These women that, put a noose on my neck and tried to hang me for not being, I guess, angry and feminist enough or whatever that is. Mammy, they made me mammy for the day or whatever. There's something they didn't think about business wise. Now, let me tell you what that is. Two things. I'm asking if I were to allow these men to help me. I never had a woman ask to help me. I have to say that. I never had a woman ask to help me. Only men. Never had a black woman ask to help me anytime. I'm just telling you, just a fact. Doesn't mean anything. I'm just letting you know. Only black men. I don't think I've been around any enough white people. No, I haven't had any white men either ask me. No white women either. Only black men have offered this. So that shows you a lot of compassion and care and concern for sisters. Been on. That's what I'm saying. I can't be angry, y'all. I ain't had no white man come and say, "Hey, can I help you, black lady?" No, it's been with black men, and I've been in all kind of environments. Okay, so let me say this: as a business, it is not a good look for you as a owner. Fuck being a woman as an owner to have a stranger off the street. Y'all hear me? Because these are people I never knew before. Come and work instantly, walking and moving items from your business into a private space. So here I am delivering, and there's some stranger on the street, and now they are carrying my inventory like they are instant workers into a private space, either rented or something like that. You know, you're asking a stranger to come into another business's or a private space and put things there. Notice this now. There's no training on how to do things. You know, you have an operational manual when you're a business. There are certain things you do and you don't do. Like, for example, I had to train one of my workers, do not ever put circular tables on the ground flat. Don't do that. Out in the open. Don't do that. There's a reason. Do not take circular tables or rectangular tables and place them up against a wall. There's a lot of training and stuff you have to do for safety purposes. So I have an untrained person coming into a space that's private. Now, when you cross into private space, now you're in dealing with what? Liability. This person, as much as they might want to help me, they become a liability to my company. If they hit something, knock it over, break something, glass or otherwise, shatter a window on accident, carrying this heavy equipment or whatever, say something, a pallet, they put too many tables, too many chairs, and this shit crashes and knocks over expensive things. Do y'all know who's going to have to pay for it? Me. I took on a liability. See, this is business shit. This is businesswoman shit. I have business insurance. Now I got to get a problem. And that person, guess what? They could fall and hurt themselves. Trying to help me, they mess around, fall, hurt themselves, and they say, "Well, I'm suing you." See, that's what I'm saying. We gotta get past, if we're gonna be serious at least. Now, if you're just jiving and joking and talking shit, okay. But I'm actually a real businesswoman in real life. And me and my husband talk about liability all the time. We hire crews of people. And my husband's job is to train those men. Because without training, you end up with people hurt, you end up with liability. And luckily, this particular organization where we hire people from, they are actually covered. And that's why I use it. They are covered. They come with insurance. They are insured. This was a big challenge to get workers because of liability. Very important. I had one guy, he just was so reckless. I told him, I said, "I can't work with you anymore." Because he was always doing shit that makes a liability. He want to be a Hulk and shit. Do not carry that many tables on that cart at the same time. Don't do that. We already know how that's going to turn out. We got stuff that's going downhill. Don't do it like that. He was always doing shit that was, in his mind, he just wanted to get the job done as efficiently as possible. It's not about efficiency. It's about staying out of lawsuits. You have tents that you put up. And if you don't put them up right, that motherfucker will take to the wind. Tent will fly the fuck off. Okay? I deal with liability. That's why I cannot allow no strangers to grab my shit and go into private spaces carrying my shit like they are operating under my business and I'm taking on their liability. That's just common sense. This is a businesswoman's mind. So it's not just about saying to black men who try to help me, I don't need your help. I know I'm fat and I need to exercise. I know that I got paid to do this job and I'm capable of doing it and I'm going to do it. But the third thing is the liability that's involved. See, people be trying to be deep and they're not deep enough. I'm not taking on the liability of a stranger when I can do my own fucking work that I'm getting paid for. Make it make sense. Make it fucking make sense. But I'm dangerous, y'all. I'm dangerous. I just want y'all to know. A woman can't say no when a man offers his hand to help. It's not an option. Women cannot say no. Not according to the sisterhood. You better not say no to help. Fuck wrong with you, bitch. You are not allowed under feminism to say no to a man's help. You're wrong, bitch. You're wrong. Y'all see these rules we assign to women? But we're supposed to be liberating women. I'm just saying. It is not an option for me as a woman to say, I don't need no help. I'm good. I'm getting paid for this. I'm earning my keep. I signed up for this. I could have been in an air conditioned space at a desk. I could have did that. I don't want to do that shit. I don't want to do that no more. Is that okay? Can I change careers? Can I change my mode of operation, burn off some of these calories? Can I do that? Do I get permission? Is it okay? My husband said it was. Is it okay? I'm just saying, y'all. We got to think about real feminism and what we're telling women. Are we having to have rules that we must conform to in order to be authentically us? Do we have to leave who we are in our brain on the side somewhere so we can fit into a box? I'm asking questions like that. Because we love to talk about feminism, but then we don't want to see women but anything as except objects to conform. Groupthink. Charlie, this is your last chance, Charlie. You better change your mind or else. You understand? Now, the other thing, I've explained thoroughly why I do not accept help when I'm on my job that I chose, the business owner I am, and I'm by myself. When I need men's help, trust me, I got a husband. He's the staffer. He knows when to get the men here. Trust me. I have plenty of black men who have helped the business. I have times when I have watched them work, and my husband is the guide, the leader of a group of men, what you call a crew. I know how to do that. I am not ignorant. But in particular times when I am delivering by myself, this is my choice as a woman. Okay? And I have that right. I want to be clear. I want to explain that. They're trying to hang me out to dry for this now. They took my sisterhood card. They gave me a mammy card because of this. I don't have the right as a woman to operate my business as I see sufficient. I don't have that right. So much for feminism. So much for fucking feminism. Okay? I don't got that right, y'all. They done told me what to think, how to do, and what the fucking agenda is. And I was off code. God damn it, I was off code. I've been fired as a feminist. Just want y'all to know. I'm being silly, y'all. Don't take me too serious. Now, the last thing I want y'all to know is I did two things in my women's studies class. It's very interesting. You might find this interesting because when you study feminism, you have to see it in actual real life. Okay. So one of the things that Dr. Hackett, particularly, she told us to do, she said, I want you to challenge the gender norms in society. I want you to challenge the gender norms. And the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about myself as a turf feminist. I am also a humanist feminist, but I am a turf feminist. I die hard turf feminist. TURF, turf. Um, Dr. Hatchett, what she had us do, she said, I want you to turn the tables on gender norms. Your assignment is to think of all the things that people expect of women and do the opposite. That's what the assignment was. These is real experimentation in feminism that we did collectively as a class. See, that's what I'm saying. We talk about fake feminists. I actually did experimentation in the real world with feminist ideology. So our assignment as a collective class was to brainstorm and come up with experiments, multiple experiments throughout the class to see how gender exposes itself in real life society. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn gender norms on their back. So what I was assigned to do was find several ways, and these are the things that I chose, and several other women chose. And what you have to do is after you do the experiment, right, when you turn a gender norm on its back, what you have to do is interview the person immediately with three questions you thought of ahead. Your expectations for what you want to know from them as part of your experiment. You have to ask them three questions minimum in the moment and see what their answers and responses are and take note. And we had to write papers around these experiments. So I chose several things to do. One of the things I chose to do was intentionally ride the MARTA bus. Okay. And I rode the MARTA bus and I rode the MARTA train with the intention to turn gender norms upside down. So one of the things I did was when you know how people say, go ahead, you go ahead. Sometimes people like, there's an aisle or whatever, and people are sitting down and they're passing you. It's time to get out of the train or out of the bus. And they say, no, you go ahead. Well, what would happen is men would say, go ahead, sister. And I say, no, you go ahead, brother. And they say, no, you go ahead, sister. No, you. And then they would say, I insist. And I would get my microphone out. I said, why do you insist? Tell me, brother, why do I need to go ahead of you? Why do you insist that I go ahead of you? And he would say, because I'm a man. And I'd be like, okay, so you being a man and me being a woman, where did you learn that from? Where did you get the idea that I have to go in front of you? Oh my God. The conversations that came out of that were so interesting. You know what most of the time men would say? They would say, I don't know. I was taught that. And I would say, well, why do you think they taught you that? And they would say, because that's part of my manhood. I said, oh, okay. So part of your manhood is being kind to women. Okay, interesting. Okay. Okay. And then I had situations where I would intentionally carry stuff. This is an experiment I ran. I would carry a bunch of shit and look as if I'm a little overwhelmed, right? Bunch of boxes, stuff like that. These are things we did. We actually would get on the train. Some of us did it in groups, some of us did it in pairs. Get on the train and carry a whole bunch of stuff. Like, just boxes high. And see how men would behave. Hey, can I help you with carry that? And I might let them carry it or whatever. And I get to wherever my fake destination was. And I say, well, why did you want to help me? And then I would ask that question. Well, da, 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 da. Why did you think it was important to help me? So I have these pre-designed questions. Do I look weak to you or did I look like I was struggling to you? I would ask clarification questions because I want to understand the nature of the mentality that allows people to have what you call gender norms. And most of the time it would be men saying, no, I didn't think you were weak, but I just feel like as a man I should. And that's where we had the conversation. It kind of alluded us to the conformity of chivalry and gender roles and how men are required to perform. I used the word perform, and people got upset with that. But that was academic speak, performative. They are required to perform. It doesn't matter that the woman is not actually stumbling or she's looking like she needs help. She doesn't ask for help. You assume that you have a role to play. You have a position to perform. Let me read these comments. I think I'm getting behind on my comments. Let me see if I can. I see you, BGS. What you saying? Okay, let me see. Let me go back. Let me scroll. Let me scroll. This is very interesting. These experiments. Another one I had is I decided to offer men. I decided to offer men my seat. This one was really offensive. The men were offended. I would offer the men my seat, y'all. It would be a train. I did most of my shit on the MARTA. The MARTA is the Atlanta Public Transportation System. I did most of my experiments there, right? I would hold doors open for men. One of the things that my professor told me, she said, what you need to do is rush before the man. Rush before him. Don't just open the door. Rush ahead like you have to get there quick because that's what men do for women. They run fast when they see the woman approaching the door and they snatch it open and they stand with their chest out and they say, yes, I opened the door for you. Do that for a man and see what happens. I'm here in the South, and I'm gonna tell you, I offended a lot of men when I did that one, as well as offering them my seat. I would see them coming. It's not funny, but it is, y'all. I'm just being honest. These experiments were very funny. So one of the things I did on MARTA is that when the train got full, because I just ride back and forth, East Line, West Line, East Line, West Line, right? And I would do these experiments because I gotta let the cart change because I don't want people to see what I'm doing or interfere or whatever. So think I'm funny. I'm not trying to make a spectacle publicly. So I would have to let the train car empty, and I ride back the other direction and do the shit again. because you had to repeat the experiment, right? In order for you to have good data. And we're not talking about huge amounts of data, but it's like 5 out of 10. So I have to do each experiment like 10 times, right? And so one of the things I would do is I let the cart get really full when it got closer to 5 point smarter station. That's when it gets the fullest. And then what I would do is when it got full, I would wait and I would see a man, every white, black, any color. It's not about black men. And I would say, "Excuse me, sir, you can have my seat." And I jump up and I look at him. Man, the way everybody looked at me, the way everybody looked at me like I was a bitch out of my mind, the way that individual man, not one man ever took that seat, y'all. Not one. Not one man would take the fucking seat. So we had all kinds of feedback. Women did all kinds of things. One of the girls, she did one was really simple. She went into a restaurant or something and she said, "Oh, let me remove my hat." And she would have people look at her like she was crazy. Women are not required to move a hat. She would announce, "Let me remove my hat." We did all kinds of experience. It was fun. It was fun, but it was really interesting to make sure. I mean, not to make sure, but to see how society would gasp. "Oh my God, what have you done? How offensive." People were offended, especially here in the South. This is done, these experiments with, I'm sure Agnes Scott is still doing these feminist experiments. I'm sure they are, because they are so hilarious. And the details and the things when we shared together, we call it sharing out. And we had to write these papers explaining what we believe society assumes about women. That was the takeaway. Why do we have chivalry? Where does it come from? And how does that impact individual women? This is the whole point of it, right? So anyway, let me read these comments. Let me read these comments. I'm behind. I'm behind. Um, okay, so Candy Cane May. Okay, I got that part. "I have just observed you to be what I describe as a feminist on defense, meaning you only use it to deflect negative energy towards women expressing feminist values in the presence of men." I don't know, Ambassador. Maybe we can talk on that. You said you are undercover feminist. I saw that most feminists have husbands. And so this is true, BGS. Most feminists do. But you have people tell you a fake feminist if you got a husband and you conform to any gender norms. You ain't no real feminist. You a fake bitch. They are socialized that way. He says, "Man can carry me, my bags, anything to light my load." I hear you, Mahogany. A lot of women like that. I would say it's a double standard. That's the only thing that we run the danger of. We got to be honest. We want men to serve us, but then when they want us to serve them, we be like, "Nah, I can't do it." We got to be careful about that. We want privileges. I'm just saying, I'm just being objective here. Understand that they could pose accidental damage to something. Exactly. Exactly. You said, so you were talking about business or just everyday chivalry? I was talking about my business particularly. When men open the door for me, I don't expect it or reject it. I don't give a fuck. Like I said, I'm a little chunky chick. I ain't about to lose nothing. Okay, I carry my own weight. Nigga, do you want to carry 60 of these pounds for me? I'm carrying around 60 extra pounds, baby. So, like, nah, it ain't, you're not really helping me. You just doing something performative for your own benefit, and that's fine. I think men have been trained that way, and they think their manhood is tied to opening doors. And like I told my husband when I first met him, I said, I don't really need a man to do things that are not going to be like for real. And he never did stuff like that. Like, some of these men, they be trying to open the door for a woman. Why do I need you to open the car door? What the fuck? What is that for? What is that? What is that? Open the car door for what? I drive my own car all the time by my fucking self. Nobody opens the door. I don't have any servants. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't get, it's performative. I don't need that shit. I just think it's silly. I think it's silly. And I think a lot of women are caught up in romance, so they like the idea that this man is going to come on my side and open the door handle for me and open it up and let me get in and push it closed. How many women don't need that? They just don't. I guess it's a self-esteem thing. Men give them some kind of feeling of affection and love. I don't get affection and love that way. It just don't do that for me. You know, my affection and love for men comes from like real, like when me and my husband are in the garden and we laughing and talking. That's the shit I need. That's the shit I need. I don't need performances. I can close my own fucking door. Let's get in. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that. That's just me. But I'm not one of them women who signs up for romance and Hollywood and all. I don't sign up for none of that shit. Those are female, I think, Hollywood romance type stuff. She said, "I understand that dangerous. May, please stop calling yourself fat. You're not fat." Girl, according to the physical white man's charts, I am fucking fat. They say if you're not 100, I'm 5'2". They say if you're not 110 pounds, you a goddamn obese. Okay? If you're 5'2", you're not 110. That means I gotta be a twig. I gotta be like an Asian chick. I gotta have a flat chest and no ass. There ain't no room for no titties when you're 5'2". I'm just telling you. Ain't no room for titties and hips. Ain't none and booty. You can't have it. You can't be 5'2" with nothing. You gotta have flat chest, no ass, no thighs in order for you to get to 110 pounds. You gotta look like a boy. You understand? Do you know how much I weigh? You would be surprised. I'm very muscular. Girl, you are beautiful. Mahogany, you are just beautiful. You are a goddess, honey. You live 3 times a week because I love you love to eat. I can dig it. BGS says, yes, you are. Yes, I am what? What is a turf feminist? Okay, I'm gonna get to that. Mahogany said, BGS, are you here to call me names again and clip me's content? Mahogany, I'm not talking to you. Mind your business. Y'all are crazy. Uh, BGS responds, he said, oh Lord, he said, why do you need my attention? Um, May the man that has a huge crush on, oh Lord, is in the chat. No, we harass each other. Could you not agree, BGS? We harass each other because I think we have opposite perspectives, on a lot of stuff. Mahogany, stop acting like you. Y'all a trip. You just said it's all good. I just hate to see you upset, May. Tell us what a turf feminist is again. Okay. So what did you learn from the experiment? Oh, okay. What I learned from the experiment is that a lot of people they assign they assign gender roles that are not based on anything logical, I guess we could say. That's why I would ask them, do I look like I can't carry these boxes? Did I look like I was struggling to you? They could have said, yeah, you look like it because you're 5'2". They could have, they could have said, you look like you carry stuff half your weight or something. So that's why I feel like I had to help you. And I asked them, did you help me because I'm a woman or because I'm a person? I would ask a lot of different questions. It just depends on what their responses were. But I had pre-designed questions. But the collective of all the women and the way we came together and we talked about it, what did we learn from the experiment is that people have assigned a lot of meaning to gender. They assign the idea that women are naturally weak and always need help, that we are weaker for some reason. And I mean, not like this is hard to know, but you actually know because people said it. We could assume. But people say that out of their mouth. Well, women aren't as strong as me, and they would say stuff like that. And we're like, oh, okay, that's your perception. And I know that. I actually know that. And that's why I have so many carts and pulleys and different things I use on my business. And to my credit, I have to tell y'all, this is I'm gonna just tell it quiet. This has been my struggle with my husband because once we started hiring a lot of these men, my husband has put me out as part. I'm trying not to talk loud because he got up. He has put me out of the physical work, and I do not want to fight with him about it. I'll say something sometimes, but I try not to say anything all the time. But he is very slick about putting me out of the physical work. I've had conversations about this before. Let me see where he is. Pooh! Okay, he's not around. I thought he was around. He's downstairs. He might be on the porch. He likes to sit and ponder alone. But that's a struggle I've had with him. He don't want me to work hard. And it's not a battle, it's not a fight, something I want to like get into it with him about. It's a subtle, what's the word? Microaggression he has. And but it's okay. It's a marriage thing. It's a marriage thing. I'm older. I think that's more because I'm older and he don't want me doing all that, I think. But when I go to the gym and I be pushing on weights, I mean, ain't it the same shit? Ain't it the same shit? I don't know. Anyway. Pooh. Okay, he's not here. He said, I just hate to see. He said, okay, so yeah, that's what we learned from the experiment. We learned that people assign a lot of stuff to gender. We learned that a lot of the stuff that people do is performative. They're not actually clear. There's no logical reason why they're doing it. Um, and we learned that society generally has a negative reaction when you don't conform to gender norms. Society, just like a just like a quick, no, nothing deep. But society's somewhat offended when you don't conform to gender norms. That's kind of what we got. Like, to announce that, let me take my hat off. I'm indoors. And to take your hat off as a woman. And people are like, women don't do it. What do you? That's a man thing. Everybody's looking like the neck snap. Like, what the fuck? And you see people's eyes get big and large. You see people physically revulsed. When I would say to a man, I would call him out, sir, you can have my seat. And I'd move to the side, very theatrical. Sir, you can have my seat. The women were looking like, bitch, if you don't sit your ass back in this seat, the fuck? They couldn't say a word, but their body language said everything. People need you to conform to your gender. This is what we fucking learned in our experiments. So that's your answer, BGS. They have strong reactions when you do not conform to gender society norms. I got very strong, nasty looks from women when I would offer a man my seat. I'm talking about women everywhere. They looking like, bitch, who does that? What are you doing? You're ruining chivalry. What the fuck? This is very interesting. But anyway, turf feminist. I'm gonna go to turf feminist. I am a turf feminist, and I'm not gonna get real deep into it. But this is a conversation, and feminists who are really into feminism, and they read about it and stay up on top of the literature and the trends and the women who are involved in feminism, really, really for real, they actually know what turf feminism is. Turf feminists have come along in the past less than 10 years, probably. Turf feminists are women who do not believe that trans women, which are men who are putting on and playing and cosplaying femalehood, belong anywhere in the women's movement. You cannot speak for women. You cannot empower women. You are a fucking man, no matter what you claim. You cannot costume as a woman. Turf feminists are against the fact that the Supreme Court has people who are elected, picked, and placed in society who cannot determine a woman is a female with breasts and reproductive organs from birth. That is a problem that you cannot say woman. Y'all, when I say I'm compassionate and passionate about this shit, I am so serious. Men do not belong in women's fucking bathrooms. I am a turf feminist. I would die and go to hell for it. Men cannot be in sports. Men cannot compete against women in pageants. Men who call themselves women are not fucking women. Period. Fucking period. There's no room for trans. You're not moving across anything. You are a fucking man from birth. You'll be a fucking man till you die. Period. Point blank. That's a turf feminist. We stand our ground. We are not allowing you to identify as a woman. We are not going to let you tell us we got to redefine women. A woman is woman. I am not a cis woman, CIS, cisgender. I am a woman. And I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to make space for you. Women do not have to let males and Girl Scouts. We don't have to make room for you nowhere. You are a fucking man. And matter of fact, you're a piece of shit because you're already a man with privilege in this society based on the systemic situations that exist in this country, in the Western world. You have a leg up, and that's not enough for you. No, you got to come step on women, pretending to be a woman, speaking for women. You are a fraud, a fake. You are identifying as a female, and you are a piece of shit because you're using your male privilege to become a woman so you can take on trans privilege. Trans privilege is very nasty, dirty work, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm getting upset. Let me take a breath. Trans liberation is very dangerous for women. I'm gonna say that and be done. I'm gonna say that and be done 'cause I'm about to get mad. These low life, no good ass men, they will compete in fucking swimming, running, anything you name it. They will be number 600 among men. Number fucking 600. They come and they say, oh, wait a minute, give me a wig. Oh, wait a minute, let me compete as a woman. All of a sudden, I identify as a woman. I'm a woman now. I'm going to compete. And they become what? Number fucking one. You piece of shit. You piece of shit. You can't compete among men, so you become a woman. And these stupid bitches actually sit there and honor that. If you're not a turf feminist, you're an idiot, in my opinion. You can be all kind of feminist, but if you're not a turf feminist, I think you're kind of stupid. Because when you start letting men inhabit and tear down women and define and redefine women, and you start letting males, biological males, say what a woman is, speak on behalf of women, you're an imposter. You're not even fucking biologically capable of being an actual female by birth. But you gonna speak for it, man? I can't. But you know what? I blame the LGBTQ lesbians in. I ain't gonna say the lesbian. I blame the feminists that embrace all of that gay shit. They the ones to blame. I blame them because see the LGBTQ they have groupthink real bad. They got groupthink like you wouldn't believe. They are really on groupthink. You gotta accept all kind of weird perversions and shit. You gotta accept anything. Once you in the LGBTQ, the propaganda, the this, the that, you got to accept any weird fucking thing they say, or else you're not part of the group. They're gonna drag you. They don't allow you to be who you are, express yourself. That's another group thing. They gonna tell you and drag you. What is that? What's that man? What's his name? Kim Kardashian. What's his mama? No, not his mama. Oh God, I forget the name. The man go Bruce Jenner. He transformed into a cross dressing man. He wears a dress now. He's not a woman. He will never be a woman. And he said he was against LGBTQ marriage and shit. The gay community demands groupthink. You must conform. You must. Charlie, change your mind. Charlie, you're going down the wrong road, right? Charlie, this is your last chance to turn. Make a U turn now, Charlie. It'll be too late. The LGBT community requires you to have groupthink. You must go with the propaganda. Well, turf feminists say fuck that. So I blame the feminists who completely embrace all the LGBTQ without question. Because you bitches have now basically said that biological men can speak for literally all women. They can impersonate a woman to the effect that they are real women, and they can affect the definition of a real woman. That's a problem. That's a problem. You asking me to pretend? I can't pretend. I can't do it. I'm a church feminist. All societies socialize the men. What you said? What you said, BGS? You said all societies socialize the members. I agree. They do socialize the members. But it's important to see how things have changed and how people are still holding on to things once they know new information. That's what's interesting. You said, thanks for explaining to me. I agree. They are not women. They don't go through any of the things we do. Yes. And the thing is, you can't start having biological men write articles as women. We can't all start pretending they are women because that takes women's actual voice away. We don't actually need that. We do not need men, biological men, taking agency to speak on behalf of us because they put a fucking wig on. We don't need that. And women co-signing it is really a problem in my mind. So the turf feminists are raising hell. I found a turf feminist that I was really trying to like get with on YouTube. Her movement, she's very very active, but I found that she was Islamophobic. And I was just like, nah, bitch. Because, see, her thing is she's not a humanist feminist. I'm a humanist. This is why we have conflict. I'm a humanist feminist. I believe that every woman has her own sense of empowerment, and she has a right to express herself and live her life according to her, not everybody else's, but her own agenda. Now, she's what I would call a mainstream feminist. She's a married white woman, beautiful white woman, privileged white woman out of the UK, and she's very, very active. She comes to the United States. She be raising all kinds. I want to get with her. I wanted to be like, yeah, girl, I got you, and support her and all that stuff because you can buy her T-shirts and you can support her traveling and raising hell all over the place. lifting up turf feminists. She's the most powerful turf feminist, but the bitch is an Islamophobe. And I only call her Islamophobe because one of the things she did in the UK, which I did not appreciate, that's why I was like, I'm done with you. Because she took her ass to the UK and several European Union countries, and she told them women, take off the veil. Take off the veil. She's challenging women who are Islamic to take off the veil. Let me tell you something. You don't understand Islam. You don't even want to understand Islam. You want to dictate to women their cultural preferences. That's a problem for me. I'm a humanist feminist. A humanist feminist sees women as not an object. You think she's an object. You need that object to remove something to make you feel fucking better. Fuck her life and fuck what she needs to survive in her community. Maybe she sees that veil, she sees that head covering as sacred. Maybe, just maybe. Maybe she sees it as desexualizing herself and keeping her sacredness. Maybe, just maybe, the Islamic Muslim sisters see themselves as protecting themselves, okay? Being humble. They also see that as a cultural norm. Maybe, just maybe, they need that fucking veil, bitch. So she made me mad. I'm a humanist feminist. If an Islamic woman wants to cover her head, that is her fucking business. It's not upon you as a white woman to implement your goddamn culture and supersede what she needs to do for herself and her religion. How dare you? You see, this is why feminists, we will never all get along. We will not, because we have different perspectives. And you have white people who use their white privilege to talk shit to people of color while calling themselves a feminist. It's not going to work. This is why black feminists and white feminists, we fucking don't get along a lot. Because we're going to call out your whiteness. That's whiteness. Publicly telling people they need to take the veil off, trying to promote laws that deveil women who are Islamic. Bitch, get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I was done with her. I was done. Being a woman isn't easy. Wait, what'd you say? Okay, let me take this off so I can actually read. Let me be able to read. Like I got some fucking sense. He said there's a little feminist coming out. I ain't hiding no feminism, BGS. I told you that. I'm not hiding no feminism. I'm just not going to conform and be the object that people necessarily want me to be. And whatever name they want to call me or criticize, this ain't the first time. It's not a big deal. It's just content, really. It's just content because it doesn't actually change anything in real life. I find that very interesting too. People be pouring their heart and soul into these streams like the shit they saying is going to change and rock the world, right? So I think that shit's funny too. Can't take it serious, man. It's just fucking content, you know. I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying in general. You can't take people's opinions and shit. They don't know you. They don't necessarily even understand that you got liability when you allow a motherfucker off the street to just grab shit and take shit in a place they don't belong. Nobody thought about that. They didn't think it's not that serious. That's what I'm saying. They like to talk and have like, subtle, what do you call it? Superficial conversation. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Most of this shit is superficial. I don't have high expectations for the levels of, depth and shit like that on YouTube. I don't. Thank you for explaining to me. I agree they are not. Yeah, confused. You said he's confused as hell. Yeah, yeah. Hot flashes, cellulite, mood swings, stretch marks, childbirth, menopause, water retention, hormone. Oh yeah, them hormones. I'm starting to understand about them hormones, honey. I'm starting to understand. You said being a woman isn't easy. I'm going through it all. Wow. That proves they don't know what it is like to be a woman. We are more than dresses and makeup. Exactly. Women are very complicated. We have complications and all kind of things and expectations. And a lot of times women have the benefit, I say that lightly as a word, but we are supposed to be caretakers to a lot of people. And a lot of people don't look at that too. People want to listen, BJ. A lot of y'all want to, oh, black women are fat. This and you know why black women are fat? A lot of black women are fat because we be pouring our energy into others. You know how many days I probably should have took my ass to the gym and put me first? But I was like, ooh, I need to make them pancakes. And ooh, I need to clean that kitchen. And ooh, I need to do this. And I need to do that. Ooh, I got to get to my daughter's school. I be putting people in front of me. And I'm not blaming nobody. I'm just saying, you got a lot of black women. They got aging parents. I got to go see my so-and-so. I got to take care of so-and-so. I got to cook for so-and-so. Right? You got a lot of black women that are caretaking and they're pouring into other people. And that's why sometimes they don't pour into themselves. And y'all brothers be judging. Y'all don't see the heart of black women. Y'all don't see how we taking care of the community too. And if we put ourselves first, yeah, we might be walking around here, pow, pow, high fashion, this, that, da, 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 taking care, looking the best, da, da, da. We be sacrificing for a lot of people that y'all don't know. And we don't always talk about it. We be sacrificing our health for others. We sacrifice time. We should be probably somewhere in a quiet state of mind on a retreat, you know, a quiet retreat somewhere, meditating off of a lake. But we got people and stuff and responsibilities, right? Self care. We could spend hours reading and doing stuff, but we don't because we're going to prioritize other people's stuff. You see? So I think sometimes that I don't know. I was about to say online, I can't expect a whole lot of stuff that's not superficial, but nobody ever has serious conversations about that. The sacrifices that women make and the stuff they could be doing for self care, self preservation, they're not doing. We just say, oh, she's a fat bitch, stupid, sloppy fat bitch. But nobody knows that she spends hours and hours taking care of other people at their bedside. They move their mother into the house. Their mother-in-law relies on her to use the bathroom, turn her in the bed. She's almost a 24-hour caretaker and she can't get to the gym. Nobody has that discussion because that would be too much like real. But anyway, that'd be too much like real. We just got to have stupid conversation. It's the internet. That's why I say I don't expect much. That's why I'm on here clowning and just talking and saying I'm a sell out. I got my sister card revoked because I can't conform to group thing. Change your mind, Charlie, right now, or else, right? I can't, and I won't. And you said I'm going through it all. You said that proves they don't know what it's like to be at yes. And you said stress. Yeah, women. A lot of times you carry stress, that cortisol. It fucks up your hormones and all of that stuff. And we be carrying our family. Absolutely. Nobody looks at a man and be like, yeah, are you going to sit with your mother, in hospice? Nobody expects that from men. The women in the family are the ones got to sacrifice and keep working, right? You got to work your regular 40 hours. And as soon as you get off work, you got to rush to the bedside of some family member, some elder. Nobody actually expects men to do that, to put a spoon to mouth, to change diapers and change clothes. Seriously. Y'all ever took care of an older person? Nobody expects men to do none of that shit. They don't. They don't expect you to feed nobody who's incapable. They don't expect you to transfer them to a wheelchair. They don't expect none of that from other men. They expect women to do that work. And it ain't no paid work, y'all. It's free. It's stuff like that, BGS, I would tell you, I would challenge you, go deeper. You say you like depth, but you don't actually really want to know what women, real women, not these tramp bitches that y'all love to make fun of, but real women go through. While y'all talking about the obesity rates of black women, do you ever think about the caretaking? The hours of having to be sedentary, not at the gym because you're taking care of somebody. And I would argue that, the age of 40, a lot of black women become caretakers. They're unsung heroes. You don't get on the Channel 6 News for taking care of your what you call it, your great aunt. You know, you don't get and when you move your father or your mother in. My friend, she was barely in her 40s, and her mom died in Chicago, leaving her dad, who had been married to her forever, alone, and he was getting depressed, and she had to get him, transport him, pack him up, you know, and she had to move him to Georgia, have him acclimate, keep track of his mental health and his medication. All of that needs to be transferred for him to move into her home, not asking a dollar from him. And she proceeded to care for him mentally, spiritually, physically, get him to the doctor, transportation and all, resettle him and maintain him, cook for him, keep him company, make sure he was okay. That was all on her. That's her dad. And her dad stayed with her till he died. He stayed in her home till he died, and she was his caretaker. She didn't get no plaques, no medals, no public recognition. You know, that's the life of a lot of black women. You get in your 40s, your parents start getting sick, you become caretaker, you know? And you got people out here expecting you to be some kind of beauty queen, hit the gym and do four hours of gym and hiking every day. But you got ailing parents, and if you don't take care of them, nobody else will. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Y'all brothers need some education, and you be just. I'm not making this about you, but you're supposed to be a teacher, and you don't talk about that. You don't talk about how black women have to prioritize other things other than themselves, which leads to obesity. It leads to stress. You don't talk about. You don't want to talk about that because they're gonna go in your narrative. I'm just saying, BGS. I'm just telling you. These are the kind of conversations me and you have. Me and you talk about things deeper, and I don't mind. I don't mind. I think you and I are both better for it. I just highlight some shit I see. And let me see. Did I get all the comments? Okay. BGS said, I come from Southern stock. Men move mom or dad in all the time. Don't ask me how I know. Well, I'm not saying move them in. I'm talking about the daily caretaking, BGS. I'm talking about that spoon to mouth. You see what I'm saying? Keeping track of their dietary needs, making sure they take their medicine every day, getting them up and walking them slowly around, making sure that they're getting exercise, making sure they have like strength and dexterity and stuff like that. It's a lot of women doing that caretaking, if we're honest, okay? A lot of men ain't doing that type of work for the family. And I know you're from the South, but I'm just telling you, they might help getting them, like her husband, my friend's husband, he helped to actually get him there. But the details, the devil's in the details, the daily care. And that's just the elders. But think about the children. Women sacrifice for their children. They could be at the fucking gym, but they got to do homework because daddy might still be out working. Women are sacrificing for the children they give birth to. They got to watch their kid, be with their kid, cook for their kid, be present. Every woman can't go and do a 3-hour diva workout. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying. There's a lot of reasons. I have a good friend, my friend that went to Howard University, the AKA. She has two parents. She has to cook for, manage their finances actually at this point because they're a little senile. Her mama will spend money like she ain't retired. She has to look after she could get them to their doctor's appointment. Two parents. She got two whole parents. And I'm a sister to her because like I consulted with her because she was beside herself. These people in the medical industry, they will absolutely drain your pockets. And her dad had some kind of stomach problem. And so, I'm a kitchen witch. Okay. I'm a healer. I don't know everything, but I know some shit. And I know how East meets West and where they need to meet. And so when she consulted me about her dad, he was not eating. He was not eating. Well, my daughter was premature and she was not eating either. And I harassed the doctors. I said, you have to have something. There has to be something. And, the doctors, they don't want to tell you because then you will have a solution, fast, quick, and efficient. And that's not how they make money. And I said to him, I said, doctor, you are an enterologist, a gastroenterologist. I know that you have a solution. If fat is what people need, how do people get fat when when they're not in a situation to be able to consume by mouth, by mastication, the ability to eat those calories on? I have a scenario for you. I have a question for you, doctor, Mr. Enterologist, gastroenterologist. I have a question for you. When people are in a coma and they cannot masticate, how do you manage to keep them alive long term when people are in comas? You know what he told me? He told me a fact. He could not get away from it. I'd already researched it. He said they get lipids, liquid lipids. I said, well, I need you to give me liquid lipids for my daughter. Can I get that, please? Now, he never volunteered it. Lipids is liquid fat. Yes, you can order liquid fat. This is how they keep people who cannot eat, who are fucked up, who are unconscious, who are in a coma. This is the liquid shit they have in them bags. It's called lipids. Lipids is fat. And so I told him, give me some lipids for my daughter. And so I gave her lipids. But he was not going to volunteer that information. But I was determined that my daughter is not going to have a failure to thrive because I am a healer. And she might be a little skinny because she was born with very little body fat, but I'm gonna get her out of that. You understand? So I told him, give me lipids. I tell the doctor what to do. He don't tell me what to do. I tell the doctor what to do. I corner him. I give him all my research and I tell him what I need. And you either gonna write the prescription or you not. I'm go to somebody else. That's all. So I got lipids. And the second thing I told her, I said, listen, you can get your brother, your father some lipids if they will do that. Get him some lipids. That way he can start building fat into his diet if he's not eating enough. You gotta pay attention to what people put in their mouth. You can sit there and eat an apple and chew all day. How many calories you got? 25 from a whole fucking apple. And you had built you know what you did? You burnt off the 25 calories in the apple while you ate it. You gotta think about that. Mastication spends calories. So me and her were having some conversations about this. And one of the things I told her, I said, when worst come to worst, this is your emergency go-to. There is this stuff. Let me read it. Let me tell you what it is. I got it right here. This stuff is called cephaloheptadine. Cephaloheptadine. Okay, cephaloheptadine is a antihistamine that doubles as an appetite increaser. So my friend who was struggling, stressed out, this is what we're talking about. Black women sacrificing for themselves. She was stressed out. She was cooking him multiple things. He kept saying, I don't want to eat that. She cooked something else. I don't want to eat it. She would spend her evenings trying to cook something to satisfy her father, who is getting skinny and skeletal. And it is because he has a gastrointestinal issue and his brain is shutting down. And it is saying, I do not like food because it is painful. So she saw the gastroenterologist to see what was going on. He had an ulcer, but his brain had turned off from food. This was the problem. So we had to turn his brain on again. And so what I told my friend through consultation, listening to her struggling, not sleeping, cooking meals over and over again, watching her father go through food and not eat none of it, rejecting everything and getting skinnier by the day. She said she felt like his liver and everything was going to shut down. He was with the call. What's the word when you become where you don't move much? I forgot the word. Not lax. It's another word. I can't even think of the name. But he was not moving much. He was just sitting around. He had all his energy going. He couldn't. He had no calories to spend on energy. He was just sitting, very sedentary. I said, you know what? You are running yourself into the ground. Take this cephaloheptadine, whatever the hell, I can't say the word. Tell the doctor to give it to him now, right now. Tell that doctor you're not leaving until he should prescribes it to your dad. Don't take no for answer because she has a tendency to let somebody talk her out of something. Don't leave without the prescription. And I told her, I said, if he give you any pushback at all, if that doctor said anything that's not, I'm going to write that prescription for that particular thing, I said, call me. I'll get on the phone with you. Because sometimes you need an advocate, you know? You need an advocate. She going through a lot. So I told my friend, and she did exactly that. She got the cephaloheptadine for her dad, and her dad is fat now. I told her, I said, you got to slow down. You can't give him no more. So they got the ulcer taken care of. You know, that's one part. You know, sometimes it's multiple things with its old people. It ain't just one thing. It's a couple of things going on. And then she got his mind fixed to get an appetite again. Okay. And once she got his appetite fixed, he started to plump back up. He started to be alive again. He started to heal. And she said, Daddy, you eating everything in the house now, you know? For almost 3 months, she struggled with him going to starve himself to death. This is why we have sisterhood. I don't want to see my friend struggling, cooking 4 and 5 meals for a father who's basically going to starve himself to death. Fix his mind. Some kind of hormone imbalance is going on with him. Fix that shit. And fix the physical shit, you know? But that's caretaking. I guarantee you, my friend, gained some weight during that time of them 3 months of stress. I guarantee you she did. And that bitch can walk 5 miles a day. She the one I be talking about walks through the cemeteries, which I think is insane. She likes to walk through cemeteries with her little dog. I think I got a picture of me and her and that little dog. She don't never take no picture unless that little dog is in the picture. The little bitch ass dog. I can't stand that dog. It's one of them little dogs that bark too much. I can't stand that motherfucker. But I be respectful of her dog because she loves it so much. But anyway, so think about that. A lot of women be, let me read these comments. Huh. He said, "Where does the roof and the food come from?" Where does the roof and the food come from? The roof and the food come from the people who live in the house who pay for it. What you mean, BJS? You another one of them. You always do that whole like gender stuff. That shit is out the door, man. That shit is out the door. Acting like only men pay bills. Man, come on. BJS, you too old now. That's why you need me around, because you need a younger person to give you some grounding. Because you be talking crazy. You be saying stuff that ain't that was the 1950s maybe. Where a black woman was washing some clothes and she made a quarter a week. Right now women are making a lot of money. I don't care what your little statistics say. A lot of women are making a lot of money. A lot of women are owning real estate and houses. I have some boss bitch friends, some associates. Bitches out here doing bad. I just found out there's a video I have from the other day. I just found out an associate of mine, you have a lot of associates. You don't know who people really are. I found this bitch is a super gospel singer. Got albums signed to Sony. I had no idea. I had no idea she had all that going on. I said, oh. I said, why didn't you tell me? But how many people be like, let me tell you how great I am? Right? She's on like her fourth, fifth album. I went to her show the other. She had a concert with Ricky Smiley or somebody, and I was just like, wow, why didn't you tell somebody he was famous? As a matter of fact, she played Mahalia. They had a big, I believe it was a play, something Mahalia. It was a big deal, but I had no idea she was the actual Mahalia. I had no idea. How would I know? She never said on big shit. Never. So I be knowing some fabulous people and don't even know they're fabulous. Women out here doing big shit. So cut it out, BGS. Cut it out. Cut that shit out. Talking about where do the food and the roof come from. Let me drink my drink. Pooh. Liz. He outside still. Okay. That's my husband's name, Liz. N-I-Z-Z. Pooh, are you in the house? Oh, you hear me in here? Oh, Lord. Do you want me to make you some pancakes or something else? You said something about sausage yesterday. You want sausage? You want pancakes and sausage? I don't got no hash browns. I gave it to Luna some days ago. Okay, so sausage and pancakes. All right, cool. Let me get to making my husband. Oh, you watching something from the truck? Okay. Linens and tablecloth. You put my clothes that I was doing to the side. They're getting done now. They're getting done now. Okay, just tell me when I get done with this. What? Yeah. What you want me to move around? Okay. Pooh, where's the sausage at? I don't either. I think I bought the turkeys. No, what's that name? Angie sausage. Okay, let me see. I will find it. I will find it. No worries. I know you don't want Luna sausage. She's like, hell no. Huh? I will find it. I see neck bones. I see all kind of shit. Fish sticks. Ah. Okay, I'm almost done. If it's not here, I'm gonna go look in the freezer. Cause those were tubes. We did cook the hell out of them, Miz. That one week. I need to go to the restaurant depot. Let me get off the damn live. I'm making too much noise. Um, I need to go to the restaurant depot and get the halal beef ones. Yeah. When? No, we gotta cook the French fries. So I'm not gonna do that today. I'll do that when Luna's at school. Maybe tomorrow. I'll go get the beef halal ones. I need to go to Kroger and get double breads for her. I'm talking loud. I'm sorry. Hmm. Okay. Within an hour. Okay. 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 So I'll leave in the next 10 minutes, and I'll go run to Kroger and get that stuff for her sandwich meats and bread, and then I'll come back ready to do the. That's what I mean. I gotta go to Kroger. I'll do that fast, like you said, and then I'll come back, and then we start the the French fry things. That's cool. And what you call? I'll pull that out before I leave. The fryer, the deep fryer. I'll pull it out so we be ready. Ready. All right. Appreciate you, Pooh. I gotta make some tea. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me read these comments and then I'm gonna go. I got a mission. All right. So here's Ambassador. Ambassador, he says your form of feminism is dangerous. It makes women uncomfortable in spaces where they want to explore feminine expression of order. It can be tone, modesty, weight. My wife is big on fasting. Ambassador, you want women to you said my version of feminism. What version of feminism is a problem? I said that women be basic human rights, that they have the right to vote. What is your issue? Like you're not even naming that, you just assigning some bullshit to me. Come on now, let's be real. Make them uncomfortable in spaces. What spaces? I'm not in a space with other women. The expression of order, feminine expressions of order. What are you talking about? Tone, modesty, weight. I don't know what you mean. I think I know. Ambassador, you like the idea of them whispering dumb bitches. That's what you like. You like whispering dumb bitches that don't have an actual opinion. Silent, stupid women. That's what you like. You understand? And you're saying that women like me make them intimidated because I got too much mouth or too opinionated. I don't need a bitch to dim her light in order for me to be okay. See, dudes like you, Ambassador, you need to feel like a man by talking down or putting women in boxes and being controlled. You need a controlled bitch. See, we different like that. I don't want to control women, and I don't think women need to be controlled by anybody. I think a woman should be in charge of her own fucking self. We're adults. You understand that, right? And what's wrong with a woman if she feels uncomfortable by another woman saying, "Bitch, you make me uncomfortable"? Where's that at? What are you talking about? You don't make sense, Ambassador. You don't make sense. You don't make sense. It's an emotional and spiritual equation. Equation, equation, regulations. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, regulation. Okay, it's an emotional and spiritual regulation. But the thing is, again, at the end of the day, as a feminist, I will tell you that every woman has her own way. There are gynocentric women, feminists. There are all kinds of feminists. And each woman is going to choose her own version of feminism or reject feminism altogether. And I support all of that. I support women being whatever the fuck they want to be, however they want to be. And I support their right to do that in peace, without judgment. I have my opinions about some of their shit, but ultimately, I want women to do what a woman wants to do. She is not an object. She is not a child. It's called agency. You understand? And I think you, who are attracted to the manosphere, you have an inherent belief that your manhood is tied to a woman's femininity or your opinion of her being feminine right? That's what you think. You are defined by your ability to control femininity. That's a problem in and of itself. Manhood should not be, just like feminism is not tied to masculinity. Your masculinity should not be tied to nobody's femininity. It's just crazy. You know, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of dudes that are toxic, masculine, they believe that their power that they have, like this guy JP, he got on the damn stream and he started talking crazy. You know, woman say something I don't like, she got a line. Yeah, she didn't step that line, she can get a face bust. You know, fucking, what's wrong with you? You fucking Neanderthal. But I, like I said, I don't deal with dude. I really don't know nothing about him because it was like a while back. I heard through the grapevine that he had some dude named Fatty engaging with his daughters on the internet. I said, ooh, 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 ooh. Whoever these two characters are, let me stay far away. I don't deal with people who deal with whatever the fuck. I don't even care. I just no. The answer's no. So anytime I see people having conversations about him, he's the subject, the topic, or he's on the, and ain't nothing personal. I just, you know, I just exit. I exit. I mean, oop, this is not for me. Oop, that's not for me. When I see stuff in the title, oop, that's as soon as the conversation, oop, that's not for me. That's it. That's what intelligent people do. You avoid shit you actually don't co-sign. You see what I'm saying? When you don't co-sign shit, you avoid at all costs. You don't spend no energy on it. None. And that was the basis where I was like, anytime I hear the name, oop, time for me to go. I have several things I'm like that with. As soon as I hear the shit, I'm like, oop, time for me to go. I'm not your crowd. I don't need to hear anything. I get that from Islam, actually. In Islam, you're told very quickly, make a decision. Because you have one foot in the Jannah and one foot in, you know, in hell. Okay. You got one foot in heaven, one foot in hell at all times. You got to make decisions swiftly. Be sure who the fuck you are. Be sure who the fuck you are. Be knowing who you are. From moment to moment, you have to make a decision. You understand? And so that is why when I hear certain shit that don't conform to the world I'm trying to live in, I be gone. I be gone. I be like, oop, I'm out. I'm a ghost. I'm gone. I don't want to hear no evil, see no evil, touch no evil. I'm good. I get the fuck on from shit that I do not engage with, that disagrees with my spirit. I get the fuck on quick. I be gone fast. I'm talking about stuff that's reprehensible to me. I be gone. Matter of fact, I wipe it from my consciousness. That's how bad it is. I just like, ooh, let's just wipe that off. We did not hear or see that. Let's just move on. I have nothing to do with that shit. I'm not talking about it, looking at it, engaging. I'm not nothing. Let me move on. That's how I deal with reprehensible shit. Particularly when it comes to TV, videos, and stuff. Shit. Like, I'm not finna spend no time listening to no trans talk about their transition and how they cut their dick up. I'm not finna spend no energy on that. You see? It's reprehensible to me. I don't want to hear your story. I don't want to see your pictures. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I want to wipe that shit from my consciousness. All right. Anyway, last comment, and then I'm gonna go. Without someone working, there is no food. Look up Black women in extended stay hotels in Atlanta. Well, BGS, these narratives, I know they serve your purpose. I know, I know. You like to focus on the underdogs of society. I understand this about you, BGS. You like to find the lowest of the low Black people, the ghetto, right? Those in poverty and those who are dealing with homelessness, those who are downtrodden. I get it. I used to be like that too. That's why I ended up going into education and teaching at the alternative school. I specifically taught at the alternative school because I used to be in love with the underdog too. I get it. I totally get it. I tell you, like, you are like Neo and I am the Oracle. I told you this. We have some things in common, BGS. It's okay. We can reach across the aisle, brother. We have some things to learn from each other. But you have a tendency to focus on the losers of life, BGS, and you have an obsession with that. You have all the statistics and the data about how you can't and how you're losing and how you suck and who sucks and how much they suck. You are an expert at that shit. Unfortunately, BGS, you are not an expert at Black excellence. You are not an expert at all the people who tried and could and who have attained greatness. You don't really focus on that. And I understand. It just doesn't suit your narrative. You have to have victimhood in Black men. They're always victims. But I think that you are just as crazy as these females out here who are always finding victimhood in black men. That's why the gender wars is. Both of y'all two sets of people. I'm a black man, I'm a victim, and it's all black women's fault. It's the gynocracy. Y'all be screaming and hollering and crying and coping together over there. And then these black women, they doing the same shit over in their corner. It's because of the black man. I can't make it. It's because of the black man and patriarchy. I'm dying inside. It's Jermaine's fault. They do that shit over there. And neither one of them is telling the truth. Neither one of them is telling the truth of the source of their real oppression. Because oppression is not a class. Oppression is not everybody. Oppression is an individual experience that you can choose to liberate yourself from to some extent, right? But you don't have those kind of conversations because it doesn't suit your narrative, BGS. And that's why, I be talking to you because I want you to be a healer. And I want you to think more like solution based and self-empowerment. But I know I'm asking too much because these narratives get outrage, right? They bring about outrage. They get people to stay because people are stuck and they don't want to change. And my daddy told me, he said, I don't want to hear none of you crying. I don't want to hear none of your fucking complaints. I don't want to hear no sob stories or excuses. I need you to grab yourself up by the bootstraps, make a plan, take charge and take control and get your shit together. Do something about it. My daddy raised me as an empowered person. Anything that's fucked up or I don't like, I got the power to change it. And it's simple as that. I'm not finna waste no time crying and complaining, making excuses, finding charts and data to back me up on why I'm stuck. I'm just telling you. It's taking me a long way, my brother. Here go Ambassador. No, ma'am. My wife will drag someone real fast, but she believes in trying to first present things as proper as she can, amongst other things. You seem to believe working on regulation is subjugation. Working on regulation? What is regulation? Is subjugation. Working on regulation is sub. You know what, Ambassador? You need to have like a. Do you have a channel where you can talk and express yourself? Because some of the way you write stuff is like you're trying to be extra academic. You saying something, but you're not explaining it. You seem to believe working on regulation is subjugation. Regulation of what? Regulation on female behavior, regulation on what? What are you talking about? Oh, BGS, that's so easy. That's such an easy thing to say. You don't know how the world works. So dismissive. You're very good. You got like 20 of these little things you say to dismiss people. You don't know how the world works. I knew that 30 years ago. I have memorized all of your strategies to try to dismiss people. I am old. I know everything. You haven't been around long as I've been alive. I know all those. BGS, try it on somebody else. You can't. You're going to have to come up with some new tricks for Miss May. BGS, you gonna have to come up with some new tricks to dismiss Miss Maymay. I got your card, brother. I have seen all. I didn't watch your videos. I didn't studied you. I know all your excuses and manipulated tactics and stuff. I know this. I've seen you argue with men and how you cut them off and this. I got it all down pat, bro. You got to come up with some new shit, new tricks, BGS, new tricks. Come on now. You disappointing me. You're not that damn old. Come on now. You can do some new tricks, brother. I need some new tricks from BGS. I will put you to the test. This man is entertaining. Hey, here you go. Put me to the test. Put me to the damn test, then. Let's do it. Let's do it. How's that gonna come? What's the form of the test? I want to know. I want to know. I like your test, BGS. You give me. BGS give me in the box. I be shuffling left, shuffling right. He get me boxing, y'all. He get me going. That's why I talk to BJ. People be like, "Why you talk to B?" He's a good boxing partner. What you call it, sparring. He's a good sparring partner. He keep my mind stimulated. Cause BGS is kind of quick, He quick with the trick. He quick with all them statistics, and he be throwing shit out there. It's like it's a dance. I like it. I like it. I like sparring with BGS. As quick as he throw them bullshit tactics out there, I be slapping them down left and right. I be slapping them, slap it down. right? Block, block, slap, block. He said I fail most of the time. Of course you would say so. Of course you would say so. Of course you would say that. You the master teacher. You're supposed to say that. You're supposed to say you undefeated, right? You're supposed to say that. I don't expect you to do anything less. BGS would never, no matter what I do, no matter when I get him, he will never admit defeat. He'll never say, "Man, you're right." He'll never say it. He'll never say it. I already know that. I ain't waiting on that. Let me see. I might go live later. I might go live later. Y'all forgive me. I got a cold. My daughter, she got a sniffling nose. Y'all forgive me. It's supposed to be gone by now. Look, Liz, I can't find the sausage poo. I don't think we got it. Um, I gotta go. He said he don't want the pancakes without the sausage. Yeah, I gotta go. And I gotta go to the store. I gotta go. I gotta go. But Ambassador, I wish you would explain. I know one thing. You made me upset that last stream. You was just that victim mode shit be making me mad. It just makes me angry. There's so much empowerment out here. Y'all just sticking to these victim narratives. It's maddening. I don't know what to call it. It's fucking maddening. It's fucking maddening. He said, if May is right, then she's right. Bye, May. Okay. All right. I'm about to go, y'all. I have enjoyed talking, having a good time, entertaining myself. I hope you all were entertained as well. And let me show y'all something. I want to show y'all real quick. I want to show y'all a gift. My husband, he just gave it to me. He went to, let me see if y'all can see it. He went to Morocco. He bought me this. Isn't that cute? It's like a miniature. I collect miniature things. It's like little cups. Isn't that cute? He just gave it to me the other day from Morocco. This trip. Anyway, yeah, let me see. Oh, yeah, he got me these earrings from Portugal too. He got me these earrings from Portugal. See, I put it on my family harvest altar. The love, the gifts. He put that type of stuff. So he gave me these earrings. These are from Portugal. And this was from Morocco. So I put these things, a little cup. My cup runneth over. So these are the things I put on my family altar. Items of love and compassion. That's real shit right there. Real love, real energy. That's the powerful shit. All that other shit is bullshit. Anyway, I gotta go to the store. I should. Y'all have a good day. And don't forget, I'm a fake feminist and I'm dangerous. Bye, y'all.